What's up, good executive? I keep saying that. Good Vipo. I'm so used to being on Patreon. What's up, good Vipo? Happy Friday, TGIF. Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by typing either exposed or scammers, or exposed scammers, or scammers exposed, to let me know that you can hear me in the chat. Today, we have a couple subjects that we'll be talking about, and they're all related to people who are actively scamming or who are suspected of being scammers. We have the Porsha Guobadia, I guess Porsha Williams again, and Simon Guobadia situation. We have some exclusive tea that has been shared by the blog goddess and my friend Michelle A.T. Brown. Then we have Carlee Russell is coming back to the news. I thought her 15 minutes of scam and being a spoiled brat or whatever she got going on, I don't know what's going on with her, but I thought that was over. I heard that she had got, she pled guilty, she got charged with whatever her charges were, and she had 1 year sentence, etc. But it looks like she is appealing, and she is going to trial this month. And I just found that out earlier today. And then we will tackle a couple topics related to the saga that we know as Darius Cooks, and what he's been up to this week, and things happening in his scampire, in his realm. So thank you to everyone who's letting me know that you could hear me. Jesus, let me put these glasses on. I'm sitting here trying. I'm like, why am I struggling to see? Because I didn't have my glasses on. Oh, I can't wait. I got to get some contacts. I keep saying it, but I ain't did it yet. But thank you to Miss MJ, T. Davis, his MJ, Leah, Shamika, Alice, Donna, Minister Annette Edwards, Natasha J's World, Chocolate, Francis, J. Rave, Delilah, Jennifer, Mons, Shaquia, Venture, Carol, Auntie May, Benita, Shamika, and everyone else who is letting me know that you could hear me. I greatly appreciate that. Also, make sure you hit that thumbs up button to hit that thumbs up button to help this channel grow, and to help this video. It'd be greatly appreciated in advance. And while you do that, we'll get a confirmation with the poll I usually put out a little earlier, just to make sure that you're doing that. And so we're going to get right into this Porsha Williams, because we got a lot to cover tonight. I ain't trying to be on here all night. So we're going to get right into our first story, which is Porsha Guobadia, aka Porsha Williams, and what she's up to. What's happening here? What is happening here? We know that she is coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't talk a lot about this subject here on this channel, but I am a avid watcher and avid fan of the Black Housewives shows. I'm just keeping it real, just the Black Housewives shows. I watch them all. So the Married to Medicines, the Real Housewives of Potomac, and Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I am very aware of what's been happening here. But we have a little update. We know that Porsha's coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta for this upcoming season. We know that it was announced a couple weeks ago, and then within a couple days, it was then announced that her husband was illegally here, and also allegedly a scammer. And there were, he has a criminal background of credit card fraud, and he was deported out of America, but then illegally came back under another name, and then received a green card under a fake name, et cetera, et cetera. And so that led us to here. So according to Michelle A.T. Brown from her YouTube channel, and she also has the blog Straight from the A, she says that Porsha and Simon's divorce is all a scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the BS. The rumor has it that Simon was not in on this latest stunt. Michelle said that according to her sources, Michelle A.T. Brown, for those of you who don't know, has her roots deeply planted in the streets of Atlanta. She knows all the major players there. She knows these housewives people, and people got to talking. She tapped on the shoulders of a few of her acquaintances in those circles, and they're like, "Girl, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what's really going on." So she shared it. She's a blogger. That's what they do. I'm sorry, that's what we do. So she says, according to her sources, and they're very, 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 very close sources to this situation, Simon was totally blindsided by the divorce and found out when we all did via the People magazine article that was exclusive that Porsha put out. So Porsha had all this going on in the background. Simon was none the wiser. She says that Simon was really brokenhearted, or is still brokenhearted, and allegedly the immigration and divorce documents circulating were planted by Porsha's camp for maximum publicity. So it wasn't just good enough that she was coming to the show. We needed some little humbug around, and it has made us very interested. Now, I would have been just okay with her coming back, but I will say I'm really curious now what's going to be going down in this time frame before the show come out. We get to see a lot of this behind the scenes. Michelle said that Porsha knew about Simon's immigration issues all along. And actually, she was the one that pushed him to try to get everything resolved. So had Simon himself left everything like it was, he had been here, I don't know what, 30 years or whatever it's been, 20 something to 30 years under this alias, or however he got here, however he was able to get his green card when he got back here. They're saying that Porsha is the person who convinced him, no, babe, you need to go on and make this right, babe. Go to the government. Tell them, hey, I know I'm here illegally, but I want to make this right. Y'all know how that works. Government ain't got no emotions. They're going to be like, oh, you came here illegally and you're under a fraudulent name, but you've made a great life for yourself and you're a multi-millionaire. We're going to leave you alone. No, that's not how that works. So they said, so the theory is that she divorced him just because she just miraculously found out about his legal issues don't add up, because it's not true. Allegedly, it's not true. She knew about this, but it makes for a great storyline when you like, I don't like him like that. Thank you to the 97% of you who have hit that like button. If you have not as of yet, or you're watching on the replay, please hit that like button. Definitely goes very far to help this channel grow. It's free to you, but it's very valuable to me. So I really greatly appreciate it. Poll question we're putting out here. Do you believe that Porsha orchestrated this media stunt? Are you believing what I've read thus far? I'm not done, but do you believe it so far? So a few things that align with what Michelle ATL Brown has come out with this exclusive tea from behind the scenes. They said, note that the Fulton County court document system is down due to hackers. So that means us regular bloggers, you know, people who would normally find these things, all you do is search online, search Pacer, or go to these different jurisdictions, courthouse, internet, you know, web-based systems, and then you search names and do all of that. It's all been down. Can't none of us outsiders get this information. So whomever got the document would have had to go in person to the courthouse. And how would they even know to do that? That takes work and research to say, hey, let me go to Fulton County Court and see if there's anything that just happens to be anything about Simon out there or whoever else. That's not how it works. We all do it from the comforts of our home offices and studios. Anything that requires us doing too much traveling, unless somebody flying us out, unless you're getting flued out. I got flued out a couple weeks ago. We'll talk about that later. But unless you're getting flued out, we just pretty much stay in our spaces. We don't like to, we don't like to commute and stuff. So how would they know to do that? So it had to be information that was gotten from somebody who was involved in the lawsuit. And then they said the other piece is The People magazine is generally used by the housewives and Bravo themselves for PR, which means that the machine was behind this article. So with the systems being down, how would the writer of the exclusive get access to these documents? So how would the People magazine reporter who had this exclusive get access to the Fulton County documents unless somebody gave them to him? And why hasn't anyone else been able to obtain the divorce documents? So in short, Porsha came up with this to leverage this divorce all the way to the bank via a dynamic storyline for the Real Housewives of Atlanta and her grand return. I mean, the problem is, I'll give you, Bravo, this is great. The problem is there's real people and this is real life involved in it. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. Alice says, Porsha thought that the Underground Railroad was an actual train. I question a little bit. I remember that. I remember that scene and everything. But Porsha's a lot more savvy than we give her credit for. And I'm now starting to wonder if some of that was acting. Some of that acting. Because this is a very elaborate plan, very sinister. And we've seen Porsha move, weave and dodge and weave to get Rolls Royces from these African gentlemen in Atlanta and houses and all of these sort of things. Maybe Porsha ain't as slow as she wanted y'all to think she is. Says the further part of it that Michelle Atlian shared was that the prenup is that Porsha, in the original prenup, Porsha will be able to live in the marital home for at least a year or two. And so that means that Porsha will be able to film this upcoming season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta from this home. And in her in the filing for the divorce, she stated that she wanted them to enact the prenup as agreed. So she gets to put Simon out. They ain't got to deal with that and act like she into him no more. The build the man she was doing, got his teeth fixed, got him to slim down a little bit, probably had a daddy makeover. She got all that done and shined him up because he used to look ashy. She shined him up and everything. And now she like, go on about your business. I did enough for you. Give me a young thing. Give me a bolo. Yeah, I know she like a bolo. Anyway, so Michelle also went on to say that Simon is not broke. Yes, he may have started his career with credit card scams or whatever he was doing, but he eventually amassed a true wealth. He amassed true wealth. And the thing that he has, these lawsuits with the private jet company for $1 million, you kind of got to have money to even get to that point to owe somebody $1 million. So he's been on the gram. He's been flossing, Simon, trying to prove that he's okay. Although behind the scenes, he's crying. He's depressed, just like anybody else would be if they was bamboozled by their spouse. Anybody really, like anybody you're in love when you're dating, but especially your spouse. He's heartbroken. But for the gram, he on there cheesing. He on golf carts. He went out to the Rolls Royce dealership, talking about buying another Rolls Royce. He already has 2 or 3 of them. So Simon is doing his thing. Then you have this, his friend, Peter Thomas. We all know Peter Thomas from the show. He's married to Cynthia Bailey. He says, isn't it funny how after a breakup, the true colors come out? One of you lays in bed all day, unable to eat, and can't even fake a smile, and the other one just moves on like it's nothing. Then his caption was, wow, I know that a lot of y'all have experienced one of these roles before. I do hope it isn't the one that is completely disabled, because that's the most effed up place to be in. If you're going through that, I pray for you. If God closed that door, trust and believe There's a better one getting ready to open for you. Be patient. So this is, coded basically to his friend based on the Atlanta streets talking to Michelle A.T.M. Brown. So they're saying that Porsha and Simon had come back to the States after they hung out for a little while in Costa Rica. They was on the gram, doing all kind of stuff. And then Simon ended up going to Costa Rica after their trip so that he could sell one of his properties there. On his way back home, probably on the private jet he owed $1 million to, on his flight back is where he saw the news of the divorce being released, just like the rest of us. So when the rest of us got news of it in social media, he's on his phone, scrolling. What? Huh? What? Me? My wife? What? She doing what? That. And they said prior to that, when he left home, things were great. They had just come off a vacation. There was no conversation about breakups or divorces, and there was no anger. He was blindsided. That's what they're saying. They're also saying, according to the streets, as told to Michelle A.T.M. Brown, Porsha had already moved on. Porsha allegedly has moved on to a new man who happens to be a married African man. I'm sure he owns Rolls Royce. She got a type. A married African man whose name begins with a C. They know his name in the streets, but they have not yet released it. So Porsha's coming back. Candy, you wasn't doing this, Candy Burris. You wasn't giving us this. Sometimes you got to orchestrate some stuff. Sometimes life is a little humdrum. You're just making your millions here, there. You're opening your business here, there. You got your sex toys flying all over the room. That ain't enough. We need this kind of stuff. It ain't nice. I ain't saying it's nice, but this is good TV. It ain't even came on yet. These about to be the highest ratings y'all done seen in years. Good job, Porsha. Good job. I understand. My condolences for you, Simon. I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know if she's going to be like, baby, I was just playing. I needed to do this, and I needed to not have you in on it because I needed to have you be shocked because you're not a good actor. So I had to do this, but I love you, baby. This ain't no real divorce. This is for TV. This is for the people. Let's get this contract done. Let's get some more millions. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes except for what's been shared, but I don't know. Poll question I'm closing out. Do you believe that Porsha orchestrated this media stunt? 73% of you think so. 27% of you are like, nah, this is just kind of how things work. Life is like this. I find it interesting that we ain't heard from, I ain't gonna say heard from, Porsha been in the social media streets doing taking pictures for the gram and stuff. But since her wedding, which wasn't even televised, we ain't really seen a lot of buzz around Porsha, not like this. She announces she coming back to the show, and then within a week or so, all of this. That makes us interested in what's coming up for next season. Some of y'all think that's just how life works. That's a coincidence. The rest of us understands how social media and reality TV now works. They coincide with each other. The show begins before the show begins, if you know what I mean. See what y'all got to say. Oh, we ain't got no start questions. Let me see. I'm checking. See what y'all saying. Smile Pretty Lady is saying, hold on. Let me see if I can pull it. Smile Pretty Lady is, something was going up there, but Smile Pretty Lady is saying this is all for entertainment. Yeah, it has become very, very toxic. Very toxic. She needs to keep her legs closed to married men in my Nene voice. Yep. But, well, look how she got the one she got now. She's on the Breakfast Club. Wait, she is not on the Breakfast Club anymore? I never watched. Deborah, you way behind. No, she has not. She was never on the Breakfast Club, was she? Or did she she probably guest starred on there like a bunch of other people. But Jess Hilarious is the has filled that third seat role. Porsha was on like Dish Nation or something, wasn't she? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought it was like Dish Nation or something. Oh, Ricky Smiley. She was on Ricky Smiley. Thank you, Donna. So yeah, she was on there. Is she still on there? I don't know what Porsha do besides create storylines for us. That's all I know. All right, we got enough to talk about, so I'm gonna move on to the next topic, which is Carlee Russell, who again, I thought Carlee was gone, girl. I thought you was serving your 1-year sentence. I thought you was at least a few months into it. And you done popped up. They telling me, Vel, you gonna cover the Carlee Russell trial? I'm like, Carlee Russell trial? I thought she got convicted. What you talking about? Look it up. Sure enough, got a trial. Carlee Russell. Poll question I just put out there. Did you know that Carlee Russell was going to trial this month? I should have asked first. I meant to change that. Do you even know who she is? So there's a little media news clip. I'll play this first. The volume on these things are very low right now. I don't know what's happening with my screen recording, so you may have to turn it up a little bit. And I didn't have time to re-edit it to get that volume higher. So apologies in advance. So here's a little very quick news clip.
Russell is charged with 2 counts of false reporting. Earlier this month, a judge found her guilty, but she is appealing that decision. Prosecutors have asked that she serve a year in jail and pay around $20,000 in restitution.
All right, I'm already saying, who is Carlee Russell? let me do a little post check of the audience real quick. Do you know who Carlee Russell is? Do you even know who Carlee Russell is? So Carlee Russell, what I didn't know is as of October, she was appealing her sentencing, and that was her walking in. What I found interesting about this, and I'll just replay it with it on mute. Now, before she was kind of like hiding and ducking from the press, and they were covering her in a way. Now she's just kind of gliding, and she chewing on her bubble gum and looking a little sassy, kind of glancing at the camera like, I don't care about y'all. I don't care. I'm like, okay. She's getting used to the press a little bit. I still want to hear why you did it, girl. You owe us that. Why you do it? But we're going to get to hear it, I guess, in the trial. Maybe. I don't know. She may not testify. We'll see. We'll see how this is going to all come together. 84% of y'all do know, about 80-something% of y'all do know who she is. So we have the legal saga is continuing in the case of Carlee Russell. Carlee Russell, a 26-year-old young woman from Birmingham, Alabama, found herself in the center of a whirlwind controversy after she allegedly faked her own abduction. It all began on July 13th of last year when Russell made a frantic 911 call claiming to have witnessed a child wandering along the busy interstate. A white child with no shoes on the beat. No. A white child with cowboy boots on. It's coming back to me. Didn't the baby have white child cowboy boots with a diaper? Maybe something like that. But as the story unfolded, it became clear things were not as they seemed. So just for those of you who don't know, she called 911. She was on her way, supposedly. She had got off work. She stopped to get some Mediterranean food, and she was on the highway, I think an exit or so away from her home. She pulls over on the side of the road. This is all caught on the highway surveillance camera system. She pulls over. Her lights are flashing. She calls 911. She claims that she has noticed a white toddler and a baby with orange hair. Thank you, S. Smith. A white toddler with orange hair, cowboy boots, and a diaper wandering down the side of the highway. So she says she pulls over. She calls 911. They tell her, can you keep an eye on the baby? She says, yes, blah, blah, blah. Police show up. When the police show up, Carlee's car is there. It is still running, but I think Carlee's wig and her purse, and if I'm not mistaken, maybe her cell phone was still there, and there was no baby and no Carlee. Fast forward, there's a manhunt, nationwide manhunt. Parents all on the news pleading for her. You got people who have had their daughters abducted, and unfortunately their lives were taken, who were advocating and putting on search parties, leading search parties all over for them. She was missing for, 72 hours, y'all, or 48 hours, something like that. Missing. Carlee all of a sudden shows up, walking to her house, ring the doorbell. Hey, y'all, I'm here. Oh, this white man with a balding spot in the back of his head and a woman kidnapped me. When I saw the baby, because was it the 911 call? Or she was on the phone with her family. She's on the phone with her family. She's supposedly saying something to the baby. She screams, ah! And then the phone drops and they hear nothing else from her. So that was the last they heard from her. Next thing you know, she popping up at the house claiming that she was abducted, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out it was all a lie. Fast forward. Because we're going to have to revisit this now that she's going to trial, because I'll, pull up my old receipts. Because this story we followed last summer. Well, we was on it last summer. So we'll get back on it. This trial, I'll watch. We'll watch this live. I'll stream it. Because this one I want to watch it now. All these other trials, too many trials going on. I can't hang. But this one, I want to watch in real time. So we'll watch this in real time. So fast forward to October, Russell appeared in the Hoover Municipal Court facing charges of false reporting to law enforcement and falsely reporting an incident. Despite pleading she pled not guilty. I thought she had pled guilty. Despite pleading not guilty, the judge found her guilty based on the evidence presented by the prosecutors. Russell's legal team, led by attorneys, whoever cares, but immediately appealed the verdict, arguing against the harsh penalties posed by the state prosecutors. They only gave her a year, y'all. It was so much more she could have got. And even her restitution, I think they were saying it could have been upwards of $100,000 or $200,000. And it was like, I can't even remember, but it was like maybe 15, 20,000, something like that. It was like a year's salary for maybe somebody her age. Anyway, as the trial date approaches, one question remains unanswered. Why did Carlee Russell allegedly fake her own abduction? Will we ever know? I don't know. I want to find out. Will we ever know? %79% of y'all know who she is. So, next poll question before I close out of this. I'm going to check a couple of y'all comments. Pressure, I'm not sure if you're multitasking, but if you could star some questions, that'd be great. But I'm not sure. Maybe there's nothing to star. So should I cover the Carlee Russell trial? If I cover the trial, we stream it, will y'all be here is what I'm asking. Let me see if I could see what's happening on y'all end. Okay, now I see them. Okay, thank you. There is a bill right to make a felony for people who do this. Yeah, they have been talking about that. Carlee is wasting her parents' time and money. Yes, but I'm not sure how much of it is just Carlee, or y'all know her mom flipped. Now her mom, obviously that's her baby, because the mom, was very much so when she was missing, all on the news and the press conferences, etc. But this clip here, this photo, is from after we knew it was false. And her mama was sitting on, what was that, Good Morning America, whatever it is, still saying that her daughter was kidnapped. Still saying it. And we like, girl, if you don't quit playing our face. And she was like, there's more to come out. But then she, they couldn't answer. But that daddy was sitting there like, what I'm gonna do with these women in my family? He was silent. You could see on his face that he was like, why my wife still going on with this? We know our daughter got issues. She shouldn't have did that interview. And then after the interview, got mad. And every time she would say something on social media and stuff, She was reaming out everybody, talking about get out of our business. You put everybody in your business. You was one on the news every day. And then when you got all of us emotionally invested, found out your daughter's a flat out liar, and then you get mad at us because we want answers. Why? So yeah, and so that makes me say with this comment, Zealand, I'm not sure if this is Carlee only or if it's her mama. Like, no, they ain't doing this to my baby. We pulling out all the stops. We hiring all the attorneys. I don't know. It could be that. Her mama could still be in denial. Carlee could still be lying to her mama, and her mama could still be in denial. Why the daddy going along with it, I don't know. Well, he might not have no choice if you want to keep his wife. If they wanted to throw money away, they could have just given it to me instead of paying. Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. Literally, I just found out about this today, so I do not know if this is going to be a jury trial or a judge trial, but on March 18th, we'll know for sure. We will know for sure on March 18th. Carlee going to show up with with the baby and the boots saying, see, I told y'all. See, he did exist. Oh, Smile Pretty Lady says she think being pregnant will keep her from jail. She pregnant? Who's she pregnant by? How'd she get pregnant? She found her new boyfriend that quick? I did not know she was pregnant. Right. Alice is saying she probably would be out by now. Right. Now, this is a point here, Shantae. She's going to wish she had taken that year. I feel like she deserved whatever they give her at this point. Because that was a lot. I was like, wow, that's all she got? Because I thought they would give her at least 2 to 3 years. And I thought they were going to have her pay at least 100 to nearly 200 in restitution, 200,000. Yeah, you don't want to be playing with the law like that. Because she lied. She lied. She lied. All right. So for the sake of time, I'm going to move on to the next topic. Thank you all for your comments. Okay. All right. So moving on to our next. Did I close this one out? Yeah, I did. Oh, 92% of y'all want me to cover the trial. I did not close this out. 92% of y'all says, yes, Vel, cover the trial. We started this last summer. We're going to continue it. I'm with y'all. Clear my schedule. Next up, we have Darius Williams, aka Darius Cooks, aka Darius Crooks, aka Scampa, aka Scamoto, aka Burnt Walrus, Wide Back. No. So Darius Crooks on last night was, in his own words, high and drunk, and decided to trace across the internet streets and wander his way onto someone else's platform. And this happened to be a dating platform. To be specific, a gay dating platform. Now, this is one that I'm actually familiar with because I watch it from time to time because I find it to be funny. It's entertaining because it's like the Kendra G dating show. A lot of people are right. Alice, make sure you hard on him tonight, right? Because I've been told I go too easy on Crooks. I'm still baffled by that. So, right, Sir Scamalot. Thank y'all for the names. Give me some more. AKA Sir Scamalot. So Darius Crooks goes on this dating platform It is, for those of you who are familiar with Kendra G's dating show, this is a lot like that. The only difference is it's for gay men and women. And so the chat acts up, and people call in and they give their stats and all this stuff, and then people hit them up in their DMs or wherever they want to be hit up. So Darius Cooks hops on this. So we'll see how much we listen to of this, but I don't even know how long this was, to be honest. Let me see. What does it tell me? Oh yeah, that's too long. We ain't listened to this whole thing. we gonna just play a little bit of it. Oh, and the volume with this might be the same as the other.
It was a cat or a dog? I don't know if it was a dog. I thought it was a dog. Was it a cat? Some of y'all don't like cats. That could be it. Listen, send the man a message. Follow him. Take him out on a date. Y'all be saying there were some good guys tonight. I think there were some really great guys tonight. And they were different. It was very international tonight, which was great. So, look, you get a different flavor for different guys. Hey, Inca, thank you. It was a cat. Okay, it was a cat. Y'all be worried about the wrong damn thing. Y'all be worried about the wrong thing. Is this a Darius? I think it is. If so, let me see something. Is this? I don't think it is. I think it might be somebody else. Let's see. Friend, what are you doing?
First of all, I'm drunk and high.
Drunk and high.
I just finished cooking and...
Now y'all catch that. He said, I am drunk and high. He's so delusional that nothing he does, that he has really literally no conscious of what is socially appropriate at this point. He thinks his ish doesn't stink, and no matter how he presents himself, no matter what he says, no matter what he does, it's okay. And the D-hags are responsible for that. Uncouth, right, Donna? Uncouth. Who gets on a dating show and says, you're looking for somebody supposedly to bang your back at. You're looking for somebody supposedly, and you get on and say, I am drunk and high.
First of all, I'm drunk and high.
Drunk and high.
I just finished cooking and we just did a record $500,000 in sales this month alone.
Congratulations. Okay? Congrats. Okay.
The second thing he does, the second no, because we just, this should be what not to do if you go on a dating show. For one, you don't go on drunk or high. For two, you don't tell people you're drunk and high, even if you have gone on drunk and high. Don't tell the people. Number two is you don't start out talking about how much money you make. That's a turn off to people. Well, unless they're gold diggers. Who starts off a conversation? And he'd be real quick to say everybody else is after money and trying to get over and all that. But all he ever talks about, because that's his only worth, is money. Yeah, I just made $500,000 this year. What the F do that have to do with a dating show? What is this about? What?
Okay. You're doing.
And then Lamont, who is the host of this, calls himself the gay dating coach. He's a counselor, and he hosts this show weekly, and he's a friend of Crooks. So he does this show, and he doesn't let people just get away with stuff. He catches stuff, and he'll call them out and try to educate them on how they could be better and all of that. But he just let all this fly with Crooks.
Big things.
I'm trying. I saw you were live, right? I was like, let me click on the live. And here I am.
So, but now, here's the question, though.
There's a question.
Because I don't want no shit. That's why I gotta ask the questions, okay?
Go ahead, ask the question.
Are you single?
100%.
Okay. Are you open to dating? Are you looking to date?
Answer
this the correct way, sir. Answer the right way.
I'm open for friendship, and we'll see what happens.
Don't nobody want to be your friend. They want a man.
Yeah, I get it, but I feel like when you go right to being a man, you miss a lot of
Well, the in between. They want to see if there's compatibility. No one wants to go like, oh, I want to network with you. That's
Nah, but I'm not saying network, but I mean, can we go have ice cream? Can we go have tea?
Yeah.
You know, can we go play board games?
Yeah,
You know
that's dating. Yeah, that's dating.
That's dating?
Sir, that is dating.
Closing out this poll, I'm gonna let some of this play. Do you think that Darius Cooks is a good catch? 7% of you say yes. You're either gold diggers or delusional. One of the D's. I'm sorry, 3 of the D's. Gold digger, delusional, or D-hag. One of them. I still love y'all though. And 93% of y'all got a hell of a lot of sense. All right, good job. All right, the next poll. I'm sorry, I got it confused. Y'all told me to go in more on Crooks, not the audience. I'm just joking, y'all. Anyway, the next poll is it normal to announce how much money you make as your intro when you're looking for dates? Is that normal? Let's play a little more of this tomfoolery.
I feel like dating is like, I guess it's a relationship.
Right. Dating is having fun with you, getting to know your vibe, your energy, see what you're about. Like, right?
Yeah, I'm open to it, but I'm real picky.
I'm going to get into how picky you are, okay? Okay, Darius, what's it? Okay. And y'all should know Darius, yeah, and all your people are on watching, and if they don't know, I am Lamont White. I'm a gay dating coach. Every Wednesday we do Shoot Your Shot. We bring the
Today's Wednesday?
It is.
I love that, Maddie's mama. Which one of his personalities is this? This is supposed to be the confident but sexy businessman. The whole time he's sitting like this. Confidence and sassy businessman. The other thing that I don't want to forget, because I can't see the comments are so little on the screen, I can't really, I can see them here on my monitor, but I don't want to forget. Pay attention to the chat as well while y'all watching this tomfoolery, if we get to it, because I'm going to be skipping through this. What he's mentioned, what Lamont has mentioned, is that Darius Cooks' followers, the D-Hags, have now started to pop into this chat, into this live stream, because, not this one, not ours, that one. They popping into that live stream because they've got notification that Darius Cooks is live with somebody. So they like, oh my God, the master is on. So they jump on the platform. And although they're not gay, these are straight, supposedly most of them straight women. They might be fag hags, but most of them are straight women. And so they're not going to date no gays. Well, except for Darius Cooks if he gave in. So they are now popping in the live. People watching the live, the people who are the normal viewers, and because again I watch it from time to time, I know that on average it's 200 to 300 viewers in this chat. Now the numbers are slowly going to boost up to somewhere around 11 or 1200, and they're getting excited about that. It's like, oh my God, look how many people he brought. Some people don't know who. Most of the people do not know who he is. One person I got a chuckle. All they commented was, Google him. Just Google him. But for the most part, people were enamored with the amount of views, the viewers that had gone up. They're enamored with those who, he comes into it mentioning $500,000 in 1 month. So they're all on that. Nobody paying attention to this word vomit that he's spitting out. Nobody's paying attention to the fact that he's talking about he wants friends and he don't know the difference between dating and a friend. Lamont is trying to break it down to him. He's like, that's called dating, like to get to know somebody. You don't instantly hop in relationships. But Darius Cooks is the person who used to hop pretty much immediately into relationships. Couple dates, he's in the relationship. and then, mentally destroying the person over time and then gets bored with them. He always got bored with people, always. The other thing you'll see in the chat is that one of the D-hivers, flying monkeys, said, because Lamont was taking questions. He didn't ask this question, but it was in the chat. One of the D-hags said, Darius, you have a lot of female followers. Would you ever, and who really like you, would you ever consider coming to the other side? Meaning, would he consider dating women? Darius Cooks has announced on multiple occasions that he is gay. He doesn't like women. He has never liked women. He's never dated a woman. And he has even discussed that he is disgusted with women parts and wouldn't know what to do with them. Why they can't get this through their thick thigh skulls, I don't know. They swollen ankles and swollen knees, I don't know why they can't. It won't soak through.
Wednesday. It is still Wednesday.
Wow.
You so high, you don't even know what day it is. But, singles come on here looking for love to date. So Darius is our guest tonight. You are actually number 7 tonight. You're number 7.
Oh gosh, that's craps. I gotta be.
No,
I gotta
7 is the number of what? Completion?
Completion, and 7 is when you playing on the table. You roll a 7, that's it. It's craps. You out.
Okay.
You out, bro. Oh my god.
No,
I'm looking at these comments. These comments are a trip.
They listen. They a whole show in the comment section.
I see the comments are crazy.
Where are you living now, Darius?
Everywhere. I'm in Houston mainly, but I'm about to be Houston and Bali, Indonesia. I'm about to be kind of like back and forth.
Oh, back with Houston and Bali.
Yeah.
See, you need time to date for a man to find you.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was like. You should just be friends, because I'm finna, I gotta be overseas, and most guys can't deal with that.
So all I'm hearing is someone, right? All I'm hearing, Zealand Turner, is Scampa run off his resume and talk about this internet grandiose life. I ain't heard not one real bit of information about him. It's like, if you just wanted to get on here and brag about yourself, you could do that on your IG lives. But maybe he wanted to do it for the gays. He's usually doing it for the hags. He wanted to do it for the gays last night. The poll question I'm closing out. Is it normal to announce how much money you make as your intro when you're looking for dates? 1% of you need counseling. 99% of you say no. This makes no sense. I'm sorry, either 1% of y'all need counseling or your finger slip. Because I know sometimes y'all like, oh, Vel, my finger slip, or I misunderstood how to answer the question. One or the other. I hope you ain't that slow. Next poll question before we move on. I'll do this one first. Do you think that Darius Cooks lies about how much he makes in sales? So he gets on the media. Oh, we made $500,000 for this month, and I just got off live cooking. Do you believe that Darius Cooks lies about how much he makes in sales? Let's listen to a little bit more of this foolishness.
Tell me a guy that you would date. What does his schedule look like?
Oh, I don't mind. Schedule's cool. I could date anybody. Who works a 9 to 5, 7 to 3, or 3 to 11, 11 to 7. I don't care about that. As long as he got a job.
So if he had a remote job, that'd probably be ideal for you.
No. They gotta be remote. See, you can stay, because I don't need you up in my space 24/7. I don't gotta be in yours. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. So it ain't gotta be remote. It could be you. You go to the office, because I go to my office. You know what I'm saying? Do what I gotta do, and then we hook back up tonight. We have dinner and sit up and watch a little CNN or something.
I feel like that's so romantic. Like, what's a good age range? Like, what's the youngest you'll go? What's the oldest?
You know what? My ideal is really a zaddy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like I'll date anybody, right? But you know, a good 52, 55 is lovely. You know what I mean?
So y'all catching that when he's asked, and these are the questions that Lamont normally asks the guests. He's asked, what age group would he be that is he looking to date? Darius Cooks says 52 to 56. That's an odd range, but he's odd. So Darius Cooks is he 42 now? I think he's 42. Darius Cooks is 42 years old. He wants a man who is 52 to, what do you say, 50, whatever, in his 50s. Darius Cooks wants a daddy figure. Darius Cooks shows you with that he is unhealed. Darius Cooks has always dated older men since I knew him. I am 6 years older than Darius Cooks. And for those of you who don't know, yes, when he was 19 and I was 20, whatever, we dated for a second. He likes older men because he's looking for a father figure because his daddy never came and got him off of that porch stoop when he was paging him 911 because he was supposed to get him for the weekend and he never showed up. Yes, S. Smith, he's 42, not 62. He is Scampa. Yes, Sweet Diva. I do, in fact, look way, just in case. Yes. Sorry, let's take the guy. They aged me a little bit. Yes, I'm 6 years older than that fool. This is the glow of God, though.
But
This is the darkness of Satan. Darkness of Satan right there. And I don't mean skin complexion either.
You know these young cats.
Okay. Wait, how old are you?
42.
So 42. Okay. What's your zodiac sign?
I'm Capricorn.
Capricorn. Okay, so this is an important question for the gays because they want to know, Darius. Okay. So,
I'm ready.
Sexually, are you team top, bottom, verse, or side?
Where did this side come from?
A side, you know, it's the gays that do everything except penetration. Ain't nobody doing no sticking.
Definitely versatile.
Versatile.
Like, yeah, here's what I feel like. I feel like a pancake is not done until it's been flipped on both sides.
All right, I'm done. That's the last lie we're going to listen to tonight from him. Darius Cooks gaslighting and catfishing the gays. Talking about he versatile. If y'all don't know what that means it takes and receives. I don't like to get too graphic. I know some of y'all, y'all got y'all issues with the homosexuals. Y'all like us for entertainment, but that's about it. I get it. Just give me the likes and views. I can care less about your personal views. Anyway, Darius Cooks is gaslighting the gays. He says, and you heard him say, that he is a versatile. I have covered this topic a multitude of times, and I have proven, as I prove everything else with receipts, that Darius Cooks is in fact gaslighting. Oh, did I forget to pull that image? Hold on, God dog it. This is what happened when I'm rushing a show. Oh, how did I forget it? How did I forget it? Give me time. Bear with me. I'm only one man. How did I forget this? Maybe I didn't forget it. Maybe it just didn't come over. Let me check my downloads. Check here. How did that not come in? That's one we really wanted. I don't think it came in. Hold on. Let me go here. Talk amongst yourselves. It's going to be worth the wait. Some of y'all already know. I probably have to do it this way because downloading and everything be too much. Here we go. Let's see. I know how I can do it. Let's do this. Give me a second. We're doing production during the show. I don't normally like to do this, but I can't let this moment go by. I was told I go too easy on Darius Cooks. And I will not go out like that. That's an insult. How dare you? Tell me I go too easy on this scam pa. That's it. Oh, here it is. All right. So Darius Cooks just told y'all, just in case, let me replay it. I could have been letting this play a little bit.
Where did this side come from?
A side, you know, it's the gays that do everything except penetration. Ain't nobody doing no sticking.
Definitely versatile.
Versatile.
Like, yeah, here's what I feel like. I feel like a pancake is not done until it's been flipped on both sides.
Good answer. So let's do the math, though, Darius.
Wait a minute. Not they label me a bottom.
Child, they call everybody a bottom. You take dick one time, you a bottom for the rest of your life.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I love it. No, but I like the, it's my followers over here. I can't really get too explicit, but okay, come on.
Again, it's who said which personality are we working with now? Because now he's shy, too shy to say more graphic things, but he literally has described preparing himself for a man to enter him. The prep process. He has literally multiple times. I literally have it recorded. It's in thousands of hours of footage. So one day we'll get to it. Literally. And many other stories, many other graphic things. He was with an escort a few weeks ago. Took a picture of it. But now he's all bashful. Which character do we have today? And they're calling him a bottom in the chat because gay men know a bottom when they see a bottom.
Let's just do the math though, because we do the math on this show, okay? I don't want to know. I don't want to know how many people you had sex with. That's not my business, okay? Okay. In the last 12 months, what percentage did you top? What percentage did you bottom?
Oh God. In the last 12 months, what percentage did I top? Are you counting like only top, only bottom, or are you talking about flips? Like,
you could have flipped in a session, so you can count those for each.
You know, I can't answer that question for you.
Give a percentage. Just get,
If I had to give you a percentage, and it's gonna be very difficult to do this, I would probably say, and I'm very much like Nathan Wade's. I'm like Nathan Wade's divorce attorney. I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I don't recall. I would probably say 60% bottom and 40% top if I had to give.
Okay, it's giving verse. Yeah. I think you should ask a guy on that.
So once again, gaslighting, lying, all that catfishing, everything else under the sun. Just wanted y'all to hear it for yourselves as we continue to show. I'm revisiting a topic I've talked about before. Exhibit A, that Darius Cooks just lied when he says that he is, in fact, a versatile guy instead of the bottom that he actually is. His dating profile app. Dating profile. This is his actual dating profile that they gathered in the exposed groups. This thing has been floating around for about 2-3 years now. His app, this is back when he was in Atlanta. At that time, he was 33 years old. So that was almost, 9 years ago, whatever. He, in his intro, says more bottom than top, masculine, more into dates than hookups. This is when he was trying to be a good boy. He was still coming out of his church sissy stage. If your stroke game is on point, I can't explain this to you adults who don't understand what that means. But if your stroke game is on point, we're getting married. Your mother would love me. 200 plus pounds, step to the front of the line. Tops do not say, for those of you who don't know, tops don't say if your stroke game is on point, we're getting married. The only ones who care about stroke games are the receivers. But y'all know I ain't done. Exhibit B. Another dating profile. This is years later. Darius Cooks at this point is 39. This one here is from Tinder. Says, looking for someone who loves tacos as much as I do. Let's be friends. Oh, good Lord. There was another. I should have pulled that other one in. Hold on. I'm gonna let y'all listen to this for a second and pull this other one in. Sorry.
Because he'd be like, oh, I'm a this. Give me the math, bruh. Cause I need to know what you're dealing with, okay?
The math. I've never in my life seen it put that way. That's very interesting.
You learn something new. Yes.
Yeah, but I need to make a disclaimer. I'm also very much single. So
yes.
Not only am I single, I travel often, right? So I have the flexibility and the freedom to explore.
Yes, explore. Yes.
My middle name is Magellan.
Now, do you want to get married? Do you want children? What are your views?
Oh, marriage would be beautiful one day. But it's got to be the right guy. I can't see waking up every day to the same Negro that I do not like. I can't see this at all. That's going to be tough. Marriage, the idea of it would be nice, but it's got to be the right fit. I don't really know if I need kids, though, because they stink.
Right. So you might be open to marriage, but maybe not children. Have you ever been...
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I would say, let me get the boyfriend first. You see what I'm saying? We get the boyfriend first, and then we talk to the boyfriend, and then we fall in love and all that. And he say, babe, I've been thinking, can I talk to you? And I'd be like, okay, what's up? I think we should. And if you in love, then you do that kind of shit. But by myself, child, I got to go. I'm about to be over here.
So it definitely has to be the right guy. Have you ever been engaged before?
Engaged to do what?
Get married.
Never.
Okay. Just a question. Okay. So I heard you said you like guys in their 50s. What about like body type? What do you like?
I like a dad bod. It's kind of sexy to me. Up to you could be fit and you could be a little thick. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you too big and I don't need you too skinny.
Okay.
I need a little something to hold on to. Yeah, because I like, middle of the night, you might want to grab a leg or something and throw a leg over or something. And, them little stick figures, they've been poked you somewhere so good you can't even get comfortable.
You don't want to break nobody.
No, I don't need that in my life.
Okay. Now, are you into more like, because you got to ask people, it's 2024. Are you into more monogamy, open relationships, agreements, poly? What you into?
Oh, it's got to be monogamous. I don't know about this poly situation. I know people who do it and it works for them, and that's cool. I'm not saying I wouldn't be open to it. I just can't in my mind imagine how that works. You know what I'm saying? Now, look, somebody said, you body shaming now? Now, please tell these people about me before I...
It's not body shame. You said you like somebody thick, something you can hold on to.
You asked me a question. You asked me what I like.
I'm just noticing Lily's comment. Those sheets prove that he is a bottom right. So the other, what did I say? We left off on Exhibit A. Now we're on Exhibit B. Is this the right one? Yes, I had it all the time, and I'm just because it's so little, I missed the part I was looking for. So the next one that's on the screen is his dating profile from when he was 39 years old. This is Tinder. He says, looking for someone that loves tacos as much as I do. Let's be friends. Tops to the front of the line. He didn't say versatiles. He said tops. What's the opposite of top? Bottom. He wants tops. He does not want versatiles. Okay, that's Exhibit B. Then Exhibit C. This is him. That's Crooks. That's Crooks' photo that he had on Jacked. He's presenting the part of his body that he wants to be used. For those of you who don't know, Jacked is a hookup app for the gays, mainly the black gays. I ain't gonna show it no more, but it's out there. Hit your pause button, rewind, hit your pause button if you care. Right, your ass need a warning label. Maddie's mama. I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, people saying I ain't going hard enough. And also I got to provide my receipts because he just gaslighting the gays. And I just was watching. Well, I recorded it later and just was like, see, they'll learn. They'll see. The other part is, in order to be what they call versatile, you have to have the equipment to be able to be versatile. Now, you don't have to be gay to understand what I'm saying. Women, y'all understand. Somebody say it's not about the size, about the motion of the ocean. You still need a certain amount for that ocean to get some waves in it, if you know what I'm saying. Darius Cooks is not equipped to be able to get the waves in the ocean to get the motion. Where we at? Exhibit D? Exhibit D. Scamel toe. Scamel toe. Y'all can't see my pointer, but it's on the screen. About as flat as a pancake. What man you know that ain't had surgery down there got a camel toe? Then somebody, so again, you gotta have equipment to get the motion into the ocean. Just a little bit something. Now, this was a couple years ago, someone drew a diagram, did a comparison over there on Twitter is where I saw it at. And when I saw it, because y'all do know, my life ain't been no crystal stair. I do have experience when I was young and lost. Before God healed me, gave me eyes to see. So I know when I saw this, what I'm about to show y'all, I said, how they know? How they know? It's so accurate. This person showed a diagram. Darius Cooks. Now Darius Cooks, because he catfishes his audience as well, gives thirst traps, because he knows that some of the hags are attracted to him and they want him. And so he does things like that from time to time, where he puts a sock or something and give himself a little fake bulge. Well, this person drew what was happening. And I said, how they know? How they know? How they know? How they know? And that's where the term 3 inches of sadness came from. Because I was thinking in the moment when I saw that, and then Darius Cooks was cyberbullying and harassing and doxing me online. And I was like, it's not my fault that your 3 inches of sadness have caused you to become such a horrible human being. That's why you're holding on to how much money you make, because you're not growing nowhere else. Comparison. Till you left in the army green, the outfit he used to wear every day rather. Scamel toe, flat as a pancake. Then you have the other illustration where he's faking it. Got a sock in there or something. But I can tell you, because I don't lie to y'all. I don't have to lie to y'all. 3 inches of sadness. 3 inches of sadness. Closing out this poll question, do you think that Darius Cooks lies about how much he makes with his sales? 92% of y'all said, hell yeah, Vale, you already know. You already know. 8% of y'all like, no, he be showing us screenshots. Okay. What was that? Who the F Did I Marry series? What she talk about? Legion showing her all them screenshots of the house he lived in, the car he had for work, the this, the that. And none of it was true. Oh, people so delusional. So delusional. Y'all so easily led. Blind leading the blind. So sad. Last poll question before we move on from this topic. Do you think that Darius Cooks is serious about finding love? Now, he went on this show. I ain't show y'all the whole thing. If y'all want the whole thing, we can watch it on Patreon or something, and I'll open it up to everybody, but I ain't in the mood today. I think it's 16 minutes total. How many minutes we get to? I think we got to the halfway mark, I think. But anyway, do you think that Darius Cooks is serious about finding love? He gets on there. He's bragging about how much money he makes. He's telling people he's high and drunk. And then he lies to them about his sexual prowess. And then acts like he has the ability to be versatile. God didn't grant you the ability to be able to choose. God was like, sorry, you're bottom. Accept it. I had to. I had to. I had no choice but to accept it. Anyway, next we have Shantel. Shantel's Justin Till. We know about the kitchen comeback. We know about that fiasco, that ish show. We already know that it was a fool. Very entertaining, but it was a fool. Very disappointing for those who traveled from all over the lands to come there, waited for 6, 17, 18 hours, really from about 6, 7 hours, some of them, to never get served. We know about all that. And we know that Miss Sassy was talking about, so I'm only doing the back of the house. I don't know what's going on in the front of the house. That's Sassy Crooks. I've been on my feet for 14 hours every day. All that. Because he was looking for a way to blame Shantel. And it worked. Not with us. But it worked for the flying monkeys. Harassing this lady, calling her all kind of names. So Shantel granted an exclusive interview to a blogger. And this blogger is I'm a Pound Cake is the YouTube channel. I was gonna share it, but it looks like I'm gonna have to screen share it because it was some issue with the sound. I'm a Pound Cake on YouTube. Definitely give her a subscribe. I'm gonna jump through this video. So if you let me put her link. I'm gonna put her link in the chat because we're using her content. Here's a link to her YouTube channel. I'm gonna be interrupting, stopping, skipping all of it. If you want to see it uninterrupted, go to her channel and you can watch it and give her that like and all that good stuff. So I'm going to share. This was like 2 weeks ago, and this was under the radar. I did not know this had happened. Shantel, owner of Shantel's Justin Till in Sanford, Florida, granted this blogger or whoever this lady is with an exclusive interview to talk about what really happened with the kitchen comeback. So let's see how this is going to work out. Okay. Let's share this. Pull that down. Let's see. Wrong thing. I just clicked. Here we go. All right. So we are going to listen to Shantel's version. I'm going to skip a little bit. It's 1 hour and 4 minutes. We're going to cut it down in half. I'm going to give some commentary. It'll probably be another hour. But yeah, I'm going to give some commentary, stop and start. But again, you want to follow I'm a Pound Cake, and the link is in our chat. This is her original works. And this is for fair use for education and research purposes. Ew, that's loud. I don't know. Was it that loud on y'all side?
Hey everybody, it's me, Danny Adams, and I'm here with Shantel's Justin Till. We're going to do an exclusive interview. Shantel has a lot to talk to us. I'm originally from Sanford, Florida. Shantel here is from Sanford, Florida. You probably heard about all the controversy, but this is the moment to get to know Shantel and also to hear Shantel's side of the story. So Shantel, how you doing today?
I'm good, baby. And just a small correction, I'm from Panama City,
You're
Florida.
from Panama.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bay County.
Okay. Well,
But I
you
call
a part of
Sanford
us
my
now,
home.
okay?
Yes, I
You're a
am.
part of
Sanford,
us.
Florida, baby.
Okay,
For
that's
sure.
awesome. So tell people a little bit about you.
My name is Shantel Williams. I am the wife of Cobbin McGee. I am the mother of our 16 children, and I am the owner and my family of Chantel's Just Until Restaurant, an avid motorcycle rider, Harley Davidson influencer, and love life.
Yeah, you stay on that motorcycle now.
Yeah, girl. Got you.
How is it? Like, what is a Harley Davidson influencer anyway?
It's one who influences.
I'll be stopping and going probably based on some of y'all comments here or there. But Precious is saying, did she say that she has 16 children? Yes, she said that we have 16 children. I believe 10. I know that 10 are hers and 6, I guess, are her husband's. And so together they have 16. So yes, she did say that.
Yeah.
I guess to see someone enjoy what they're doing, it inspires others. And I enjoy riding motorcycles, and especially that Harley Davidson Road Glide I ride. I rode it all around this country, 48 states. I think in 18 days is my quickest, but on record, 23.
Okay.
You know, so.
Look, I need to check. Harley Davidson,
Yeah.
holla at me, okay?
Yeah, come on. Hey, listen, let's go. We that Black Girls Ride, you know.
Black Girls Ride.
That's right, Porsha Taylor.
Okay.
Just love, that's all. But that's who I am,
Yeah.
Shantel.
So I'm trying to keep it light because we got a lot of heavy stuff to talk about.
Okay.
A lot of heavy conversation. I reached out to you.
Yes.
And I said, Shantel, what's going on? I seen you were with Darius Cooks. I seen some of the explosions happen online. I was actually here on the first day. On Friday, I was in the 12:30 crew.
Okay.
Which is the early, which is the beginning, the start. I was here with my mom and friends. And so, you know, to see the way that it ended, I couldn't understand. So I want to hear your side. I've seen some of the lies. I've seen your lies.
So what I don't know about the host, the D-Hiver with a fro, I'm gonna be polite, y'all. I believe that, well, obviously she showed up to the event. So obviously she's at least was a D-Hiver or still is a D-Hiver. And so she's saying that she's confused at how things went awry, which means she's been walking around with blinders on because everything that he does goes awry. Everything. The only thing that he really had flowing okay was the dining with Darius Cooks event. Well, yet not, because he was secretly canceling them left and right on them and scamming people and not returning their tickets and all, not giving some people the addresses. But she ain't see that part. She only saw what the perception he gave. So she's baffled that this went awry when the rest of us who know the truth are like, no, this is how things go. You just got to see it firsthand yourself. So you can kind of tell she's a D-hag, but then sometimes it looks like she may have started to see the truth of who Darius Cooks was by the time she was done with this, but I'm not sure.
As I've seen some of the commentary from the community members. So I'm going to ask you some real hard questions.
Well, let me ask you this first.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy?
Oh, she did say from the community members. So she's still a D-hagger.
Enjoy your time when you were here?
I did enjoy my time, but full disclosure, right? Like, since we've been completely honest, the wait was kind of like, ooh, you know, we were waiting. I think at the time you got Darius, I wasn't here, but Darius had came out and said the liquor was late, so the first crew was late. I enjoyed the food. I enjoyed the experience.
The liquor was late and the crew was late. Now, the perception he gives when he was live, oh, everything I do is good. I don't know what they doing. But your liquor, which you're supposed to be in charge of all the food and beverages and stuff, your liquor and your crew, your staff was late.
I think took some pictures with you. But my food did get messed up. My order did get messed up. I got like some double things and some things that wasn't right. But overall, I like the food. I think
her order was messed up. She got double some of the stuff she ordered and other stuff she didn't get. Darius Cooks let him tell her his kitchen was running as smooth.
one of my favorite thing on the menu was the jerk wings and the devil eggs.
Okay.
And I would say the corn fritters. The corn fritters.
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't know what the little green sauce was, but it was good. So
How
I
was the
did.
service?
The service was good. I would say
You remember who your server was?
it was I wouldn't say it was perfect.
Okay.
It wasn't perfect, I'm gonna
So,
be honest, but
yeah.
it was good. I what I took from it was that there was a lot happening
Right.
behind the scenes. This is a heavy event. A lot of
Sure.
people here. But I enjoyed it. I was with my
There you go.
mom
The
and yeah,
experience,
the
yeah.
experience, yeah.
And I respect that corrective criticism.
She just said it wasn't a good experience, that she made the best of a bad experience. And Shantel then convinced her to be able to say, it was perfect, as Boston Beauty says. Yes, perfect.
Criticism, constructive criticism. That's how we grow. That's how we've been here. This is our 11th year. And without that, we couldn't grow. But to be criticized in a cruel way is certainly not human. It's not nice. And how do you expect me to grow if that you want to down me, you know? But again, I'm glad you came. I'm glad to see you. And yeah, I'm definitely ready for anything you got for me. You know, if I miss, you know, I'd hate to explain things and somebody misunderstand me, and that's not what I meant. So please tell me. Please.
So take me back, right? Like, when did you first meet Darius?
I met him, what about last year? I got in a motorcycle accident.
So this is key as well. The way Darius Cooks presented Shantel and how she came to be was like she randomly popped up in his DMs. Well, what you're gonna hear now, he did say he visited her restaurant, but basically he acts like she randomly popped up in his DMs. And we're gonna hear the real story of how they met and their interactions that led up to this situation. So Darius sent her. I don't think Darius sent her Boston Beauty. I think as this, because we did watch this on our Patreon, Executive Beef. We did a watch party of this whole thing before. You'll hear her give some critiques and do some side eye with some of Darius's antics. So I believe that she was not sent by him. She was just baffled that her leader had so much controversy regarding this event, and she wanted to get to the bottom of it herself and had a platform to be able to do it.
And I was sitting right outside here, day like this, and young man come up and he goes in. You know, I speak to him, you know, hi. I didn't know who he was. He was just a man coming up to eat.
Yeah.
And so about 20 minutes in, what you call it, somebody rode by and go, Darius is in there. And I was like, okay, baby, you can go see him. And then she said, no, Darius Cooks. And I'm like, okay, who's that?
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, he's a internet guy who does reviews. I said, okay, good. And so his food was just coming out. I said, well, I'm gonna let him enjoy it and see. And then in a few minutes, I'm gonna go in there and see how we did.
Okay.
And I did. I think I waited about another 20 minutes or so. And I said, hey, how did we do? And he said, yeah, I think his remarks was like, okay, it was pretty good, you know, something like that. He didn't say it was bad, you know. I think he said something like, well, like, and I go, well, we can always improve. If it's something you don't like, he said, no, it's the. And we had a conversation. He even invited me to his chef's table.
Okay.
The next day we exchanged numbers.
She says he invited her to his chef's table, which means she don't follow Darius Cooks because he ain't got no chef tables, because he ain't got no restaurant to have a chef table at. What she meant by that was Darius Cooks invited her to his Dining with Darius Cooks event that he was having in town that particular, during that time period. He had went to her restaurant to review it, because y'all know he was doing double duty. Wherever he went to do his Dining with Darius Cooks events, he would also then do restaurant reviews in that area. He happened to be close to her area. He does a review on her restaurant, whatever he didn't give her great reviews, but she didn't know that at the time. He then invites her to his Dining with Darius Cooks event for free, which he never does. So for me, I feel like in some way he saw a grift, because that's not in his nature. It was something he felt he could get from her. It must have been through the conversation or something. Remember, y'all, I told y'all a few months ago, showed y'all, it was a lady who he called himself acting like he was having his Oprah Gail moment. This lady who restaurant had burned down or something. I don't know if she had 2 locations or something, but he set her down at the table and was like, oh, you need to sit down. You're just running around doing everything. How are you? How are you? What are you doing for yourself? Like all that. That might have been a woman he was going to plot on, and maybe that didn't work out. Maybe she had too much discernment and godliness in her. But he ran into Shantel. He's inviting her to his Dining with Darius Cooks event. I don't ever recall hearing him ever say that. I just recall him showing her private messages to him saying that, could you help me out?
He texted me the address, and in my my scooter, I went there, and I was in awe for about 2.5 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What
very
about
nice.
the chef's kitchen did you enjoy?
I enjoyed the
Why the hell they giving this title? Now this D-Hiver, Danny, knows it's called Dining with Darius Cooks. Why is she calling this chef kitchen? Chef table, rather. It's a delusion for me. Come on, y'all.
family style seating,
Okay.
that these were complete strangers, yet here for a dining experience. And, food is very emotional. And so to see them, I got to meet the people that were near me from Ocala. In fact, I've seen them again on my motorcycle at the gas station.
Okay.
We met each other again. So anyway, that was strange how that happened. But as when I'm in awe, he made something like, and I didn't know how much it was. And somehow we got into pricing, and someone told me, and I was like, what? And I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Because I was like, you paid $300 for this?
Did y'all catch that? She didn't know how much the tickets were, and she definitely didn't expect it to be as much as it was. One of the guests told her how much they paid. She said, y'all paid that for this? So then she's looking at, how can I make money and get over on people like that? Because Shantel about her money too. We clearly know that already, but you'll see that in this video as well.
And someone told me, and I was like, what? And I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong?
Hold on, I want to go a little further back.
And, food is very emotional. And so to see,
that's another piece. She said food is emotional. That is key to know, because that's also part of the way Darius love bombs his audience. Most of us love food, can identify with it. It speaks to our soul, all of that stuff. And that's what he uses to love bomb his audience.
them, I got to meet the people that were near me from Ocala. In fact, I've seen them again on my motorcycle at the gas station.
Okay.
We met each other again. So anyway, that was strange how that happened. But as when I'm in awe, he made something like, and I didn't know how much it was. And somehow we got into pricing, and someone told me, and I was like, what? And I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Because I was like, you paid $300 for this? But
you paying $300 for this?
again, it was that dining experience, that emotional. Everyone got to meet and mingle, and he set the mood. He is a very charming guy. I was the food was, it was everything. You couldn't necessarily pinpoint one thing. So I enjoyed it. I reached out to him.
Y'all see how she's about to describe the food, but like it wasn't that great. So she was like, it was really everything. She didn't say the food was amazing and it was really worth $300. I was surprised, but this food was worth $300. She like, the food was it was everything. She's like, you really paying for the experience. You're paying to be around him and sit at tables with strangers with COVID and stuff. That's what it's really about. The food, yeah.
Let that pass, right?
No, you can keep talking.
I reached out to him, I think maybe weeks later,
Okay.
about just how I can do something like he did, because I was so in awe of the charm, the mood that he brought to it. Again, I'm in this industry because I love people and I love the mood that it bring, but I often just allow it to be. And in this sense, he kind of controlled it. And I was, was kind of impressed with that. The
In this sense, he kind of controlled it, like cult leaders do. Y'all got to listen to what's happening here. She can never duplicate what he's doing, because in order to do that, you have to build a diehard, loyal, cult-like following. And that took him a decade to build. You don't just build that from having a restaurant. And that's the piece that people aren't understanding.
So yeah, I reached out to him and see if we could work together somehow in the future. In fact, the text I sent to him was kind of what we did here this past week, with the exception of the drama. So other than that, that's how I met Darius, and I approached him.
Okay. Okay. So you approached Darius last year,
Mhm.
and then you asked, what did you ask him?
I asked him. I looked through in his with the algorithm.
Okay.
Put us where he was flashing checks of how much money he had, and I had a $1,600 light bill. My lights was getting ready to get cut off here, and we had been struggling, for the last few months, just as a restaurant, and as the whole world, just adapting to what we're going through.
So what you see is her own words, Shantel saying, well, I saw the money he was flashing, how much money he made on Facebook. And that made her feel like he's successful and maybe he can help me and maybe he can give me money too. For one, Darius Cooks ain't a giver, so that ain't gonna happen. For two, it's made to make you believe in his fake wealth or exaggerated wealth. I'll put it that way. He ain't broke, but he ain't as wealthy as he claims either.
know, Ups and downs. I have 16 employees that depend on us. And so a lot of my money that I have go into this. So I want to figure out anything I can do to help us, as they do as well. So I said, well, he flashing his money like nothing. And I know if I got $250,000, somebody asked me for 1,600, what's that? I feel like it's $1.60. So we have a relationship.
Again, she saw his money and she like, give me some of that. Give me like 1,600. You flashing 250,000. All I want is 1,600 of it.
So, and
Wait. When you met Darius at his events, you stayed in contact with him?
oh yeah,
So you would be texting back and forth or calling each other or just
we
following him on social media?
I think we text a couple of times. I texted him a couple of times. I had a crowdfunding thing I was doing, and I texted him that information. I texted him about something else. He replied, and so on December 3rd, when I approached him, I woke up that morning. In fact, it was like, let me figure out, maybe I can get an influencer to just match us along on the, cause what do you call it? What's the collaborate?
Okay.
Let's collaborate on a post. That way I can get some seats, some butts in the seats.
Okay.
And so that's the way the crowdfunding and stuff like that. It's just anything I can think of to make money.
So how much were you in?
So Chantel saw Darius Crooks as an opportunity. He saw her coming at him with those various text messages, begging, asking for stuff, trying to figure out how she could capitalize off of knowing him. And he, in the meanwhile, was in his head trying to figure out a way to take advantage of her. And we eventually got to where we are. Who that Alice saying, two takers are a dangerous mix. That's what we saw. Child boo from a few from a few text messages, right? Recipe for disaster, right?
That in the business before December the 3rd?
Just the 1,600 is what I asked him for, so I can pay the bill. And I said, if you can't loan it to me, give it to me as a gift. If not, come down, review my food. Let's see if we can get some butts in the seat.
Okay.
And so on December 18th, he came down and re-reviewed my food. I think just him announcing it, I got like 2,000 new followers, and it started off great. And I was just like, okay, this is what I wanted.
You wanted followers or you wanted people in the business?
I wanted people to hear us, that we need y'all to come in and get some food from us.
Okay.
You know, I needed just the algorithm, right? I want to upset that. I want the reach to like a commercial, like a
Right.
TV commercial.
Some marketing. You wanted
Yeah.
some marketing.
Right.
Okay.
I could do that for free on Facebook.
Okay. That totally makes sense. So Darius, at what point did you and Darius agree to do a collaboration? And what was that initial collaboration?
At first, he was going to do some recipes, kind of revamp the menu, and that would take him.
Now, remember, her original ask was she had a $1,600 light bill she wanted the money for. That's all she wanted. She wanted to get some seats in her restaurant, and that was it. How that turned into a whole three-day event, and all this is still beyond me. Well, not really. I already know this is a grift. Again, she's trying to take advantage of him, and he's trying to take advantage of her.
You know, purchasing menus, if he's going to revamp it,
okay,
means he's come down and, you know, work with our cooks and teach them how to do it, or teach me how to do it, you know, and we try to, you know, uplift and you know, kind of pour into me some of the stuff that he was doing already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I understood it at first to be, you know, but
and was that in writing?
Oh no, these were just like us deciding what we're gonna do. Nothing was in writing. In fact, when it began to be in writing is because, again, I was asking for about $1,600.
Mm-hmm.
He said no to that, and he would come and do something else and get attention to my restaurant. So I'm like, great, well, that's what we need. So then when he talked about spending about $25,000 in food, I'm like, hey, you know, let's pump brakes. Hold on. I don't want to risk that, because you're looking to make a profit. You know, I'm looking to pay bills and get us by for a minute, because, you know, struggling, you know, always, you know, I know this is just a short time. So when he talked about that, I said, how about this? How about?
So you see, she didn't want this. That wasn't her idea to do this whole kitchen comeback thing. He's the one that started to, she's telling him she in debt so much so that she's struggling to come up with $1,600 to pay a light bill. His idea was, how about I revamp your menu and you buy $25,000 worth of groceries? What? I can't even afford the $1,600 light bill, and you want her to spend $25,000 on perishables that she may not get her money back for. That was by design, because then that would make her say, well, I don't have the ability to do that. Then he's like, well, I have the money, but if I do it, then this is what I need. It was all a setup. It was a scheme set up by Todd to come to y'all with the BS from day one.
You rent this restaurant and I'll help staff it. You know, I can get you 8 to 10 servers. I can get you some bartenders. I can get you some cooks, some dishwashers. And when you come in here, I'll give you the key. And, you know, he did his walkthrough as to all he would need if he wanted to do that. And I come up with some prices.
So what you were offering was?
That wasn't about her. I thought the goal was to help her. So now it's just turned into him renting her space for him to make a profit. Again, Darius Cooks does nothing that does not benefit him. He is not a giver, he is a taker. Showing you here.
Event space and staffing, and he was offering what?
Use it by restaurant.
Okay.
Oh, in terms of money?
No, because something that you said earlier was that he would train your staff, that he would give y'all some recipes.
But that was something else.
Okay.
Yeah, this was renting space, so none of that was going to happen.
Okay.
Now, if I decided to keep some, 3 of my cooks were back there, so they could learn the recipes. That's what they're there for. They're there preparing it. You know, I thought Darius was going to be in there showing him, but that's not what happened either. So, yeah, a lot of things didn't kind of happen how it was supposed to, though.
So
you catch that, Reed? A lot of things that was supposed to happen didn't happen. And he wasn't in the kitchen. I thought he was having her kitchen come back with his amazing recipes. He wasn't even in the kitchen to do that. He's not good at running restaurants. If his 3 failed restaurants ain't teach you that, this fiasco should have. He couldn't even run a space for 3 days, a weekend. So how you think he was successfully able to run those restaurants he claimed were multi-million-dollar businesses that he chose to close because of his mental health?
When this was listed as a kitchen comeback, when I hear a kitchen comeback, this is what I think of. That there's some new recipes, that the staff is being trained, that the kitchen, I seen this 40-minute clip of the kitchen comeback before I was
it totally changed after that.
Okay, so it changed.
It was no longer the kitchen comeback.
Y'all filmed this kitchen comeback 40-minute interview that Darius did, showcasing kitchen comeback, what it would be entail. And then after that is when y'all turned this into an event.
Right, correct.
Okay. And how come you guys didn't change the name from Kitchen Comeback?
Well, I never agreed, so the name, when it was decided to be the Kitchen Comeback, that was the name. When it turned into rental space, that was no longer the name. Our contract, I'm not even certain if it says that or not, but that's certainly that's not what we were doing anymore. It was just a rental space.
Okay.
With partial staffing.
And your staff, were your staff ever trained by Darius or?
So the thing that this Danny lady isn't understanding, she may understand it today, but she wasn't at the moment. The kitchen comeback had nothing to do with Shantel. He used her as marketing material. He came up with the name. And when Shantel was saying, hey, I don't want nothing to do with having to spend $25,000 on groceries for something that might not be successful, he kept the name, kept it as if he's helping her. But all the while, it was really his event. It was dining with Darius Cooks pop-up shop. Pop-up restaurant was what it was. Which is why when there was question of if Shantel was going to pull out or not, as it got closer, he was like, I don't care what happened, because there was arguing, like they were having issues with the contract, the disagreements. And he's like, I don't care what, if I had to get a tent and staple it together, this event is going on still. Well, now it's obviously not about her. It's not about helping her. And when people would ask, well, what about the recipes? Are they sustainable for her, like financially? And are these things she can really do on a daily basis? That ain't my concern. I'm just here for the weekend. Whatever she do after that is on her. What? Yes, Missy Blue. Vel wants to say dining with Darius. I started saying it too much, and now it just comes out. And I'm trying to stop because some people don't know what that means. So,
his staff.
When you say trained in terms of the back of the house,
of the house, front of the house.
He had LaQuincy, who again these people he brought on that it was never contracted, but certainly he can bring on whomever he wants. Again, the space is his to do pretty much as he pleases within respect. So which I knew it was going to be a restaurant, and we had sold out of like 1,000 reservations in like 48 minutes. So I was excited. I mean,
1,000 fake reservations in 48 minutes, because them 1,000 people we're still waiting on them to show up at her restaurant. They ain't never show up. It was a couple hundred people.
And I'm still pretty much excited. Something like that.
It was a couple hundred people, and they couldn't even handle that still.
Work here, and I have 11 of somebody else's children. I talk about this place like it's and that's who I am, And we had sold out of like 1,000 reservations in like 48 minutes. So I was excited. I mean, I'm still pretty much excited. I think it did just that. I think it's a successful event in terms of us getting our name out there. I remember I wanted to collaborate, although I feel he quit the collaboration because he walked out. But I feel the exposure, some not so good. I ain't crazy about that, but the quality exposure is what we grow from. The corrective criticism there is what we grow from. And frankly, I feel like if anybody truly got questions for me, they can inbox me, or better yet, come down here. And that's who I am. But
So I hear you say you rented the space to Darius, and there was something that happened. If you say that you rented the space, something that happened was you were walking around talking to people, you were selling artwork, you were attempting to sell T-shirts or merchandise. Tell me about that.
I wasn't selling, but I mean, I'm, one thing Darius said, be Shantel, right?
Okay.
Okay, I'm Shantel. And it's probably not no place.
This is how I know she's truly a beehiver, because she knows all the pieces. The interviewer, Danny. She's now questioning Shantel. For those of you who don't know, I'm thinking, like, as I'm listening, I'm like, wait, some people might not know what's happening here. Darius Cooks, during that weekend, as things were falling apart and the ish show was being exposed, Darius Cooks kept telling his audience, the Flying Monkeys, telling them that Shantel was not working. She's sitting there trying to make money. She's sitting here trying to sell her tumblers and trying to sell artwork off the wall, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, come to find out, Shantel sells those things all the time. They never, I guess, talked about it, but he was pointing it out as if this her trying to get over. Look at what she's doing. So this is what Danny is asking her about.
Although I say I ride around this country, riding my Harley Davidson, there's not a conversation I can have with you where I'm not talking about Shantel's here, because that's a part of me. My children, I have I think 5 of my children work here, and I have 11 of somebody else's children. I talk about this place like it's electricity. I tell people, come in, come get charged up, or come charge us up. So I think I sell the art because that is another form of other Black businesses. And you know what? Let me take it back. If anybody feel like I was trying to sell, I wasn't. And it's kind of hard to turn it off. So I think that's just my habit.
Wait, you said where you were trying to sell. You were trying to sell, but you didn't.
Yeah, I didn't mean it like a sale. I meant it like these are people art that is in here. I'm selling a part of them. I want to let them know, take a look around everything we're doing here. And if something talks to you, it is for a price and it can be yours. So I want them just to take in everything that they see about Shantel's. And if they want to pick up a souvenir, we have them as well. That's not a sales pitch. That's me saying to them, stay present, enjoy what we have here. But I never looked at it like I'm selling in a space, but if someone felt that way, I'm thinking I want to rent this again in the future. So if that makes you feel, I might not have to. I'll have to turn that way down. That I didn't.
You would
think
turn
of
that
it.
person down,
Oh,
or
I would turn that who I am down like I'm selling pitch. I probably wouldn't do that anymore.
Okay.
Because I don't want anybody to feel like I was selling them something. I was offering them opportunity to look around and just take inventory as to what's here. We are the last of the Black-owned property businesses and business owners here on Sanford Avenue. And I feel like we're a beacon to that. This used to be the Black business district.
We are walking.
So I will agree that Shantel, that was kind of tasteless to be walking around like, hey, I see you looking at this piece of art. You can have it for $250, right? Like, there's a more tasteful and graceful way to do those things. I have been to restaurants and other types of businesses where they do sell the artwork or things, sculptures and stuff that are around you, but they do it in a tasteful way where you can see on the label that it is actually for sale if you're interested. Not somebody tapping you on the shoulder like, I see you looking at that. You want it? It's $500. Like, it's too much. And I got a feeling that was kind of her way of doing it. But as we can see, Shantel is about her money. She's looking at that weekend as an opportunity to make as much money as possible. She's like, every stream of revenue or income stream has to be, the floodgates need to be open this weekend on every stream of income. Missy Blue is saying, what food does she serve at her restaurant? To be honest, I don't 100% know. I think it's some kind of Caribbean soul something or other, but I don't know 100%. Somebody in the chat might know. Y'all let Misty Blue know, what kind of food does Shantel serve? I think it is supposed to be Caribbean something though.
walking distance
Yeah.
away from where Jackie Robinson was staying when he came
Yes.
here, and he would rent out your space.
Mhm.
And you were also selling. I would be offended. I'd be like, "Why are you selling something at my event?"
Right.
These people,
And that would be wrong
yeah,
to sell that.
yeah,
And again, I'm more so giving a story as to who we are.
history of this place, and I've seen all online where you've been trying to fight to keep this place. Tell me what's going
Ooh.
on.
Well, listen, God, to God be the glory.
Okay.
Say, so being, as we talked about, being the last, San.
I'm gonna skip over this part, but this is basically her asking Shantel about all of her legal and financial issues related to the restaurant. One of the reasons Shantel needed Darius Cooks, thought she needed his help, was the fact that the city of Sanford has been fining her hundreds of dollars per day for supposedly illegally having her seating area outdoors, some about a storage unit in the back, all kind of violations. So she has that. She claims that it's racially motivated, and the truth is they just want her building. They started a foreclosure process, but then she said during this interview, miraculously, without giving any details, she says she has an attorney, and miraculously everything has shifted, and the paperwork about the foreclosure completely just disappeared. It was the work of God, but she ain't had no reasoning of how that happened, etc. So I don't know how much of that is what it is. I don't know. But anyway, that's what that conversation is about. Shantel claims that the city of Sanford wants it because they're racist, wants her family property that's been in their family since the 1950s, I think she said. She said she wanted to have it for her family's legacy, for her children's children. But then she said that the city wants it, but they ain't named the right price. And for the right price, they can have it. Now she's doing some double talk. The one moment in the interview, she says it's for her legacy and her children's children, family legacy. The next, she said they ain't naming the right price yet. And if they give me the right price, they can have it today. So I'm like, what? This is a little birds of a feather flock together kind of thing with Darius Cooks. A little bit. I don't think she evil like Darius Cooks, but she definitely about that money. Let's see.
But the person works for the city of Sanford that's doing it to me.
I understand.
And I will say this, I no longer have a foreclosure.
Here we go.
Okay.
Everything paid in full. The devil is a liar.
Wait, what happened? Did you raise the money?
Nope.
You were crowdfunding? What
Nope.
happened?
God.
Okay.
Okay, well, let me just say how it worked out. Somebody made a mistake in our favor and cleared the entire bill. Ain't had nothing to do with me. In fact, I wasn't even at the meeting. They were arguing the case. And I guess I say it that way, not to give great details. But if you want great detail, they can come ask me.
Yeah.
I'm here. It ain't necessarily for social media. I don't feel the need to. I got to explain, That's Sanford, baby.
People, honey.
That's what we do.
That's our people.
Amen. So, and that's just it. I took it as a blessing. I mean, I woke up that Wednesday morning when I found out that news. I said, they can't foreclose on zero. I did my little, man, listen, I'm still happy. And, what can I say about it? That? Let me know my battles. That's what our Father do. He fight them for us when we in the right.
So her foreclosure miraculously disappeared. Don't know why. She ain't really tell us why, but we going past this part.
And doing right. And what cafe? I said, for what? For chairs? He the one told me. He said, you really need to get an attorney. All to us, that way we can settle this for once and for all. Make it where just if nobody can do it, then nobody can do it.
2023.
Yeah.
So help me understand. I saw on Darius Live, he did a video saying that someone called the city and they came out and did a health inspection. What was that
we
about?
Approved. Oh, some of Darius told me that that's what happens everywhere he go. That they call, they shut it down. He told me about a thing that happened in New Jersey, that they called the police. They told them they were selling alcohol. They would try to stop their event. So this is something that follows Darius. So, but all of the ATF came out, everything checked out. Health department came out twice.
So what she's talking about is during the planning of this event, as they got closer to it, people were calling and reporting her restaurant basically saying that Darius Cooks was about to have an illegal event there, blah, 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 this and that. And the health department from Sanford, Florida, actually went to Shantel's place to inspect. She's saying they passed. Although, even when Darius Cooks was there, she got served with some documents. So I don't know what the hell is going on with y'all. That part I ain't even really bothered digging into because, as y'all see, it's enough to cover Darius Cooks by himself. So we'll skip through this a little bit.
Everything checked out. We're approved. So we passed all of our tests. Again, just the habits we form.
Tell you, as somebody who was watching, I thought,
It was
oh,
entertaining.
this is well, I don't really. Okay, let me just say, I don't know. But here's what I'll say.
Hold on, she might be talking about something.
Well, I don't really, because Baby the Live got ghetto a little.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want to get back to this event.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Because Baby the Live got ghetto a little bit. Okay?
Girl.
I got a little ghetto.
Listen, my brain went dead after a minute. I was like, okay, I'm good.
I'm not gonna tell you. As somebody who was watching, I thought, oh,
this is entertaining.
Well, I don't really. Okay, let me just say, I don't know. But here's what I'll say.
I got you.
Are you and Darius doing some type of reality TV show?
No.
Okay.
No. Listen, the contract would have read real differently. Listen, I've been in shows. I have my own show, Shut Up and Ride Show. This is, yeah, if it was a show, we would have wrote a contract way different. This was he rented my property. He rented my restaurant to do.
So even his follower, who again, she what it is she's scared to tell her true feelings about Darius Cooks because she's afraid that him and the flying muggers gonna come after her. So she's skating real lightly. But she's saying it was so ghetto. And for those of you who did watch and catch clips here and there, it was, in fact, extremely ghetto. The way things were going down and the ish show that was happening around there, them 2 or 3 days that they actually, 2 days they actually did the event. And then y'all know he quit the morning of the last day.
Do him a restaurant. I understand, he's had several. This been since this my.
Okay, she got another read in there. She threw a few little zingers in there there at Darius Cooks, and they were pretty good. So don't want y'all to miss it.
And he's had several. And I've been in shows. I have my own show, Shut Up and Ride Show. This is, yeah. If it was a show, we would have wrote a contract way different. This was he rented my property. He rented my restaurant to do him a restaurant. I understand. He's had several. This been since this my 11th year, but it came with struggle, and I'm not gonna give up on that. We all have mistakes.
Yeah. So when you talk about mistakes, and you said Darius had previous restaurants, so allegedly Darius has lost restaurants. Allegedly Darius has had Airbnb.
Allegedly, it's true. He lost his restaurant. How many times I got to put that content out there for people to stop saying allegedly? There are legal documents from the state of Georgia. It's legally saying they took his business license. Come on, y'all. Quit playing with us.
Scandals, misuse of money, scandals.
I don't know none of that.
A lot of this.
Yeah.
Did you know that Darius had these allegations against him?
I'm God is judge. That wasn't for me. I feel my assignment was to help my business and my employees. I seen an opportunity where we could collaborate together, and some of the people who have probably never would have seen me if it wasn't for him, and some of the people that seen him never would have seen him if it wasn't for me.
But did you know that Darius had those allegations against him?
You see Shantel try to get around that question, and then Danny go right back. But did you know that he had those allegations? The truth is she did know, and she wanted to ignore it because but he got money and I can get some of it. That's what Shantel was after. We all know this. It's clear at this point.
Did I guess I knew he had restaurants. I don't know that. I didn't know, but I heard. I don't know if it was after the contract before. I think it was after the contract. But even if he has had a restaurant shut down, that's none of my business. Like I said, the only ones not making mistakes are ones not doing anything. Maybe this was an opportunity for him to do just that, practice it up even more. So I thought we'd both be helpful for one another.
You would be a great restorative justice facilitator. I tell you that, because
Well, 10 children.
Okay.
Yeah, they.
She said you bobbing and weaving on my question. She's like, you be great at PR. you blowing smoke.
Okay, so this is your way of showing forgiveness and that people are imperfect. What is it?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We all make mistakes. I mean, listen, I don't even know if the question. Someone said, "Would you do this again with Darius?" And I'm like, "Yeah," but I said yeah because I expect certain things to happen first. We'll have to have a talk, but I don't know what the future brings. I'm open always. I want to give people a chance because that's what I want is a chance. I made mistakes. If I can't never go back, then what's the use?
So through all this, you said you will work with Darius again, but do you feel that Darius did you wrong?
Listen, again, I know I've felt, in my opinion, Darius can be messy.
She felt, in her opinion, Darius can be messy. Darius not only can be, he is. He is the epitome of messiness. He is the epitome of being a sassy queen. She tries her best to be so nice, but she knows who he really is. And you see those moments when it comes out. I think she's trying to be very PG about this, very politically correct, because she does not want the heat from his flying monkeys. She already knows, and she's trying to appeal to the masses. You see Danny there looking at us in the camera like she on some bullshit. You see Danny taking her sip like this is bullshit.
Friend, you're gonna be editing.
This was the event in the term. And then he said, "I'm camera. Let me make." I grabbed.
You better look at the time so you don't have to go all the way through.
Did I feel? Did I know? I think this was the event was for overall successful in the terms of I knew Darius had some history. I'm a businesswoman, so I'd be, a silly. I wouldn't be a smart businesswoman to think that I could go into this business arrangement based on he said, she said. I need to put this on paper. This is a rental contract. In fact, it reads rental agreement, if I'm not mistaken. That he's going to give me $24,000 for a rental fee for 5 days. In that he broke the contract at 10:30 on Wednesday when he didn't give me the money at 10:30. But of course, I know
before the event.
Yeah, that was even before the event.
Okay.
But
so you see, I told y'all a year or two ago. It had to be 2 years ago. I told y'all, don't even think you can go in business with Darius, even if you say, "Oh, but I got a contract," because he does not believe and abide by contracts. He will play like he will. He'll go back and forth with you, draft it up, all of that. But when it's all said and done, he's going to do whatever the F he wants, because he knows in order to execute a contract, in order like to recover, if a person did not abide by the contract, you got to take them to court. And it takes time, money, resources, energy to take people to court. And he knows that the majority of the people will not do it. So he like, I'm going to give you this contract so you feel comfortable. And then I'm going to still screw you in the end, which is what he still did to Shantel. Shantel, though, on the other hand, hasn't lost enough from this experience. She gained a little bit, and she's hoping that she can gain some more from Darius Cooks or this experience. So that's why she's doing what she's doing, placating to the situation and not keeping it real. Misty is saying, so she didn't get payment up front. No, she did get her deposit pay. I think she got all her money before the event started. What she is saying is that Darius Cooks didn't abide by the timeline. She was supposed to have her money at 10:30 a.m. on that particular day. He ended up not giving her money till 12:30. Technically, as far as the contract is concerned, she could have voided the contract at that moment when he was late with the payment.
Again, emotions.
And how much was he supposed to give you on Wednesday?
$19,000
of the $24,000.
He paid me $5,000 before it even started. That was the
Okay.
deposit. I'm a businesswoman,
Okay.
so I need to get something in front just to know we real, that this is even can happen. Because I'm not making a schedule on you what you say. So when I did the contract, and and I listen, I had some people doing it for me because I was ready to jump into it.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, wait a minute. So it was a collaboration, even that in itself.
So she said she was ready to jump into it without a contract. She just said she doing a lot of double speak. First, she said because she's a businesswoman, she insisted on a contract. She wasn't going to do it without. But then she just said she was about to jump into it without a contract. And people told her, hey, you need to get a contract. Part of those people were those from the exposed groups and the coalition, and people were in her DMs and sending her video clips and all of that stuff. That's who she's talking about. Was like, hey, you need a contract with who you're dealing with. But again, if she had really been listening, she would have listened to VLB, who said, even with a contract, it ain't gonna mean a hell of beans. But again, she only wanted $1,600 out of this. She got $2,400 or whatever, 24,000. Most of it, went to expenses and stuff. But she walked away with, maybe $8,000 to $10,000 that she didn't have. She's grateful for that. For her, that feels like a win. Although her reputation is ish and she's become a mockery and a joke, she got the cash in her mind.
They said, Shantel, we got to make sure you get your deposit. Make sure on this day at this time, there's a wire transfer. He signed and agreed. There wasn't a wire transfer on the 24th at 10:30. It didn't happen till about around 12, if I'm not mistaken, the 24th or 25th, one of them.
Okay, grace
So,
period.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, so if I wanted to be about money, if I'm about money, I could have said as soon as the money got up, you voided the contract. I could have stepped away right then.
So what was in the contract? What was supposed to be your role in the contract? You said I'm supposed to provide staff. Did you provide the staff that was requested by Darius?
Yes, and then more.
Okay, so how many people?
He didn't have any staff in our contract. He brought a whole lot of staff. I could have voided the contract right there and say, hey, that's not in the contract.
Okay, so who are the? Okay, so Wednesday is when this started. 5 days. Okay, so Wednesday, what was supposed to happen on Wednesday?
He training the servers as to how he would want his restaurant to be run.
Okay.
Because we don't know anything, and he has the experience. He's had other restaurants. So how would you want this unflux event? Because we know we got to clear about 350 reservations plus walk-ins plus takeouts. We got to clear that. So maybe 500 people, and I got this little restaurant. I'm looking to see how it's going to be pulled off too. I'm excited, but I believe we can do it. I'm ready for the challenge.
So how many people were on Wednesday?
Less than that. Less than.
Y'all hear that? Now let Crooks tell it. The event was sold out. She had all these reservations, et cetera, et cetera. She said they were expecting 300 and something people with the reservations plus walk-ins and all of that. She was then asked how many showed up. Way less than that. She didn't get no quantity, but way less than that. I think it was 100 and something, y'all. 100 and something people. Supposed to be 300. Well, it's supposed to be more than that because with the walk-ins and stuff, it probably should have been somewhere around 400-500 they were expecting. Nowhere near that. And yet he's still trying to do the Three Kings tour that still ain't sold out. And he couldn't even get people to show up for Shantel's Just Until or the Kitchen Comeback.
Reserved. We had a lot of people.
No, not your.
Oh, and staff.
Darius had this event on Wednesday too?
Oh, no.
So he was there to train your staff.
Yes.
So how many staff people did you provide on Wednesday?
About 10 servers, 3 cooks, 2 dishwashers. Oh no, 4. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 dishwashers, 3 cooks, 10 servers, which at any time I could have just 8 servers, and 2 of my servers could be my bartenders. But there was never any need to switch them off because our bartender, he was, he was good, having a good time.
Wait, I thought you were supposed to provide bartenders, and those bartenders weren't at the event. Those same bartenders were at the event.
Oh yeah, anytime it's 8 to 10 servers. I had to give a minimum of 8. I could give 10. Anytime it could have been switched
So
off
why weren't they bartending at the event?
because there was no need. We didn't have enough drinks ever going where we needed bartenders.
Okay. Okay.
Another lie Darius Cooks was caught in. Darius Cooks on his IG lies. There's a reason it's called IG lies, because he lies on Instagram. He's saying, and she didn't provide me with the bartender. Where's the bartenders? That she voided the contract when she didn't provide me with the correct staff. Where's the bartenders? Well, she's saying I had 2 of my staff who actually doubled as the bartenders. The problem is they didn't ever need to go over there because there wasn't enough drinks needing to be made because there wasn't no crowd. Corey was over there. Corey Brim, one of the 3 queens, was over there behind the bar. If he only making 1 drink every 50 minutes, why you need another bartender over there? Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, that's it. It's
And what was supposed to be your role?
for the most part handle front of the house. But he brought LaQuinty.
For people who don't know what handle the front of the house is, what is that?
Front of the house is make sure you got the servers, make sure the tables are running good. Go out, meet and greet my guests. I think my terms were be Shantel, and
Who said that?
Darius.
Darius told you to be Shantel.
Be Shantel.
Okay.
He said handle the news people if they come. I want you to handle all that. I want you to be Shantel.
The news was supposed to be here. What was the news?
I asked them not to come.
Why?
Well, it started off a little chaotic, and I figured I wanted to keep it the event of his event and not about Chantel's, because remember, it's no longer the kitchen comeback. It was now a rental space.
You say that, but none of the marketing changed online.
Y'all hear that? I'm loving how she exposing this grifter. The media was supposed to be there, but she said it was so chaotic that she told them, nah, don't worry about coming. This a fool. And she says this was no longer about her restaurant. She was just renting the space. She like, I don't want my name attached to this. I don't want the news showing up, seeing these people, these flying monkeys out here all out of breath and dehydrated and complaining and cursing at each other, and Darius Cooks cursing at them, and Jeremy cursing at them, and them calling him gay, and all of that because they've been sitting out here waiting in line for 6, 7, 8 hours. No, y'all stay home. Don't capture this. And then be putting it on my name, talking about some Chantel's Justin Till got a crowd of raging flying monkeys outside her restaurant. Does that sound like a successful event to y'all?
From kitchen comeback.
Well, I didn't market it.
Fair. Okay, so getting back to this. So you provided the staff, from your point, you provided the staff that was requested. So in the contract, does it say you also supposed to have the back patio open?
We had the back patio open.
Wait, in the contract, does it say you're supposed to have the back patio open?
I don't know if it says that or not.
Okay. But
it's always open. We have permanent seating out front and out back. That's
and
not
on
moving.
That day the seating was available?
Yeah, it's permanent. It's 1,200 pounds. It's not something you can move just right away. So we have 2 patio that seats 8 people always.
And why weren't people sitting out? Because when I was here on Friday, there was people out here. Then when I went inside, there was tables
available, right? Always.
Yeah. So not a lot, but there was tables. So
right.
How come you all weren't using the back patio? How come you weren't flooding people in?
Well, there was no need. Never did any of our servers have more than 1 table. Darius ran his show a little differently than I would have ever ran it. Him and LaQuinty, they worked hand in hand, and so it allowed me more opportunity to be Shantel. And I often was putting out fires because if the electric went out, we had to make sure I turn it back on. We had a food truck plugged into our business, so that's not a normal thing. And so there was a lot of microwave use. So, I had to kind of go put out small fires and make sure the ship still stayed because we're a team and all together. I want this to be successful for everybody, and especially for the guests that have come here from near and far. And so I often, as they ran their show, and I'd go back and say, "Hey, is everything okay?" And I get a nod or everything, a thumbs up. I'd see, he'd be on live doing his thing, and that's. I think it went as he wanted it to go.
So if you were, and we'll talk about the lives in a minute, but if you were in charge of the front of the house and that changed, what then became your role?
Well, my role didn't change. It was just still be Shantel.
Okay.
But, just being, anytime he called on me or something needed to be done, I was there. So, even if I'm still greeting the guests, if they needed me to do something, I was there, If there was ever any time, I was very approachable to communicate with. I think.
So I'm with you, Nicole. The comment is she don't know if the back patio was in the contract. Girl, stop it. So I do feel like there's gaslighting there. I talked about this with Patreon when we did the watch party with this. I don't understand what the issue was with the back patio either, because it was not getting opened and used. However, what I also do know is that the inside was also not ever full. So I could see that as being part of the reason, but it just seemed like for some reason they weren't ever taking people back there to be seated. But it could be, what's the point of using additional space when and this Danny lady has mentioned, even when she went in there was still tables inside of the restaurant that weren't full. So why we need to open up the back? And I don't know what was happening out here in this front patio area. If these chairs, because I know people were waiting and they were refusing to get up from these tables until somebody actually needed to sit there. And so I'm not sure if that front area really got used properly either. And who want to eat with a bunch of people standing around them anyway, waiting to be seated? It's show.
How you doing table touches when I was there? Like going to the table. I seen you on live, talking to people. Yeah. There was a situation where people were bagging up their food and you were saying, wait, go get this to the server and go get. Okay. So I saw that. Was that supposed to be your role?
Yes.
Okay.
I took that as, that was my role, and nobody told me differently.
Okay. And so what was happening in the kitchen? Was Darius, from your point of view, was Darius in there training people on recipes, the staff on the recipes?
Y'all see that chuckle when she asked, was Darius in there training people on recipes? She like, like, yeah, right.
Because when I was on live the night of, what was that, Saturday night or Sunday night, I believe. And what I witnessed was Darius say, I didn't give them any recipes. And I was telling them like, ooh, if there's a macaroni and cheese, this is what I need. And then this is what I don't need. If there's a green, there was a call and response that happened on live. They said there was some greens.
You seen more than I seen them.
Oh yeah, I was on Instagram and Facebook because one thing about me, I'm gonna be in the business. So so on Instagram I saw him say, well, the collard greens wasn't cooked because we don't or they weren't seasoned. Sorry, they weren't seasoned because we seasoned at the end. So knowing all of these things from what I seen, I heard you say on your live that, well, we got recipes, we got help. How did that happen if Darius is saying, I didn't help your staff learn any of my recipes, I didn't give any recipes? He even explicitly asked, and I'm gonna ask you this, what are the recipes that you all have?
Darius didn't even cook. So that recipe, but you know what? Let's say, I don't mean this, and I'm not signing like I heard
Shantel throwing in them zingers. I love those shady moments. Closing out this poll. What does this sound like a successful event? 3% of you, 3% of you, either your finger slipped or, hey, flying monkeys. And then 97% of you say, no, it does not sound like a successful event. I can't believe 30%. I know some of y'all fingers slipped though. Like what? Okay, it went down to 2%. Thank y'all.
From your that wasn't shade. That wasn't shade. Look, I'm I'm simply saying,
Oh
you
Lord.
know, that we had 10 line cooks back there and chefs. Um, Shout out to my staff. I had 3 cooks back there. Brother Joel, these gentlemen didn't know each other. They met each other that day, all at training. You know, um, Chef, I think Beasley and Sister Tammy that came with Darius, good people. Our relationship, I went to Restaurant Depot, with Sister Tammy. I went to get things, anything that needed to be done. I think everybody had a part back there to play. They cooked together. They learned things together. We had a sheet. Hey, we need to cook down this. We did the training inside. So even the servers were privy to the quote unquote recipes because it was just all spread out on the sheets as to, hey, cook down the grits, salt them, press them, and then cut them up, store them. So there's the recipe. But did we learn that knowledge? Yes, we did. If we wanted to do it just like that happened, yes, we could do that and do it even better and start to perfect it and put our own twist on it. So when I would see the recipes and the menus, I love the fact that Darius did a menu. I loved some of the names, and I even congratulated him and said, "What a talent you have," because that's not where my brain is. I kind of opened the restaurant because my kids had a need. They would come to me and ask me for $200, and I wanted to be able to say, "Hey, I got 2 shifts available for you," because I wasn't the mother to give them a fish. I'm the mother to take them and teach them how to fish, right? So here it is. This brother had these menus, and I'm like, wow, those are some good recipes. I do want to learn some of these. Maybe I will keep some on my menu to elevate our money thing up, and maybe we won't be a neighborhood restaurant. Maybe we'll kind of brand more to a destination. So now I'm looking at it like, yeah, this is good business. So
So
for me, that's success.
so now that you're saying like, oh, these are some of the things that you want to learn how to cook, would you be
Right.
interested maybe with Darius or another cook to for them to teach you how to make some of those things?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm open to it. I mean, we've seen it for the most part. My daughter, Cybread, my number 8,
Okay.
she
Because you got
was
10 kids now.
right. Miss the chef Bleasy, the chef that came and cooked all the things. He pretty much seasoned everything. She was his right hand. He knew that she was his strength. And one of the questions Darius asked, "Hey, did you find out your team? You see who's your strong?" He said, "Oh yeah, yeah." So brother Joel was one of them. My daughter was one of them, and Javon. All of them, we have relations.
Okay.
So anytime we want to perfect that menu, that happen, I'm certain we can do that and make it, enhance it to be even better. Because I then would want to be on the tasting.
So
Right. Courtney Witherspoon is saying that whole thing is off-putting to me. She is shady, but also complimentary towards Darius Crooks. I, I agree with you. And I, again, think it's in part because she's trying to keep that door cracked, that if he would ever feel the need to try to collaborate on any level, where she want to keep that door open to be able to tap into that money in the future. She don't want to completely ruin that relationship. As much as she don't understand that he is done with her. He has utilized her and used her and dismissed her, and he is done. He doesn't revisit. I think because he's already distrustful of people, but also when you harm somebody in such a way, of course you're going to be like, why would I go back to that? Hold up. I thought the restaurant had been in the family for years. Did I miss something? You and me both missed something because I'm like, she says she opened the restaurant for her children, but she then said it's been in the family since the 1950s. Maybe it was in the family, maybe the building was there, maybe it closed and she reopened it. I don't know. Her stories are a little all over the place. Look, yeah, I don't know. I'm lost too with that.
Part of it.
moving forward, has all the staff been paid?
No, they get paid today. Um, Darius was never supposed to pay them.
Okay.
I pay them their hourly wage. That's per our contract and something. That's why I asked for the $24,000. It was to one clear up, some of my old bills. I had cleared up that $1,600 light bill had been cleared up that,
Okay.
So, but the $24,000 was to pay my staff and try to do some marketing. Let's try to pay some of my crew that came. I had some of these stuff on camera and I paid them. That helped another Black business. I'm about spreading, so that 24,000 was probably just about gone before the event even started. So what I asked that when he walked out on the staff and their gratuity. People sat down and got service. They got the Chantel's way. And the people gave them money for that. That gratuity went through his POS.
Okay. And why were y'all on Darius' POS system?
Because this was his event.
Okay.
It wasn't Chantel's at all.
And in the contract, was tips discussed?
Yes.
And what does the contract say?
It says, well, he said that he'll tell all his people. And, I guess my staff later realized that these people said, well, we ain't like his people. We didn't know anything about that. So his people didn't know. He didn't pass the information that all gratuity should be in cash. Some did have cash on them, so they paid. And that's what my server said to me.
Because when they came to my table for
Mhm.
gratuity, we thought with the POS system, we had to give the gratuity up front. So our ticket was $120, and they asked us for gratuity right then, and in order to take the car. But what we ended up doing was giving cash.
And then so they were trained to say, part of the training process, to give you the total, and then to say, would you like to add gratuity to this?
That was asked, yeah.
Like that. And so then when you say yes or you say no, or I know something like, will your gratuity be in cash or credit? And would you like me to add that to the bill now? I think that's how it goes. And then you would decide if it's going to be cash or credit. If it's going to be cash, then they'll go ahead and run the card for whatever you say. If it's going to be credit, they'll add in how much it's going to be and run that as a total. So that way, when he go to pay them out, they had to keep their slips. So that way he could go and take the gratuity out and pay them their money.
If y'all use this system again, just as somebody who was there,
as a businesswoman, smart business, I'll make sure the gratuity all goes through Chantel's.
Okay.
I would change it up a little bit.
When you all had the sheet and everybody at the table had to use the same sheet to the same menu sheet,
Mhm.
At the bottom, we should be able to say this is what our gratuity is, because it's an uncomfortable thing you're at the table, you don't know, now everybody is on one card. We don't know who wants to give what gratuity, all the things.
Right.
So just
mistakes you make in this event.
If you want the critique, that's the critique.
Right.
Okay, this is my second time watching this. I said we did it as a watch party on Patreon. So this part, I'm still trying to dissect it and understand what's really happening here with the gratuity. Not the gratuity. Now I can, every time I pronounce it like she pronounces it, it throws me off. But the tip, but yeah, with the gratuity, it sounds like the issue was they only were allowed to have one credit card per table. So them trying to figure out the tip was a complication for them. So I think that's what she's saying. The other thing is, well, I'll let this play a little bit because Shantel says a little bit about where they left off as of right, Alice, utility. It's grutility. It's grutility. Don't forget the G, grutility.
Right. And that's corrective critique. That's good critique. We want that corrective criticism, that constructive
that Darius created.
Correct.
On your opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask
I think now he'll make a better decision on how he does it, Certainly I will.
And you talk.
Now she acted, oh my God, it's just the delusion for me. She acting like she don't know that this dude did that on purpose. It was all by design for where we ended up with or where y'all ended up with it, because I would never end up in this situation with her. I know better. That's why I'm here to warn the people.
Talked about the tips. Have the folks gotten their tips?
Not as of yet. But today I sent the email to him with the slips. And so I'm glad I got that email because I didn't know about that email.
Yeah, I called you. I was
like,
well, I didn't call you. I got somebody else to reach and touch you. Like, what's going on with the tips?
Right.
This is what Darius is saying online.
Yeah.
What because that was something that I truly cared about. Because when I
Me
came
too.
up here on Sunday, I approached your workers because they were all outside in the back, and I pulled up in the back, and folks were down about their tip.
Yeah, because he walked out on them. All they wanted is assurance that they would get their gratuity. He didn't have to do it right there. He just had to give them assurance. We're human. These are a lot of single mothers with young children. These are some people on fixed incomes. These are young college kids. They depend on the gratuity. I only pay them $10 an hour. That's minimum wage. I want to maximize the rate, you know, of their wages. But we try to do that with our gratuity. So I said to Darius, I texted him that night when, per our contract, says we were to settle up on all gratuities Friday night and Saturday night. Friday night, he left. Saturday night, something happened. He canceled with, the people that were waiting, and he left. He didn't settle up. I texted him about 12:30. Hey, I'm still here. We can settle up and go over these gratuities. He said he wasn't going to come out. I said, okay, well, before we start tomorrow, we need to settle up on the gratuities. And that's what it came to be about. Anytime there is a...
So let me try to break this down for y'all. As far as the pay, the base pay for the servers, Shantel was in charge of that. That was to come out of the $24,000 that Darius Cooks was paying to rent the space. She is saying that she has, as of that date, was about to pay the people. So the servers should now be paid their salary. The issue is the gratuity. The gratuity, every time I need to stop doing that because the next thing you know, I'm going to be doing it for real. The tips. The tips were supposed to, the agreement was that Darius Cooks would tell his followers, please bring cash to tip your servers so that it doesn't have to go through his POS system. They would get their cash, their tips, gratuity directly from the customers. Darius Cooks mysteriously never mentions that to his followers. Who's surprised by that? I ain't. They are. They surprised by that. I ain't. So the people come and they only have their credit cards, which means that when they're tipping through their credit cards, which have to go through Darius Cooks' POS, point of service system, which means that then Darius has to separate the tips from the payment for the meals and the drinks. The agreement in the contract, because he's so about the contract until it's something he's supposed to be delivering on. According to the contract between him and Shantel, every single night, and I heard him say it himself even before the event, he was supposed to settle up and pay the servers the tips. He was supposed to go through the bill of sales for the evening, the receipts, and separate out, these are the gratuity for the servers, and this is my money. And then he was supposed to pay the servers their tips for each evening. They were supposed to settle up each evening. It is in the contract. Shantel just said it. First night, he left. He busy. She let it slide. Second, oh no, he canceled, she said. He canceled with whoever was supposed to be reviewing it with him to get it done. So they waiting. They all available. He gone. And he cancels. I can't do it tonight. I'm tired. I wasn't expecting to be this long. Whatever his excuses were. This is how he rolled up. Second night, she says, she's telling him, hey, I'm still here. It's 12:30, but I'm still here so we can settle up the tips. He makes an excuse. She says, well, we need to take care of this first thing in the morning then. Because now 2 days out of the 3 haven't been tipped. Now they're on their last day. The morning of the last day, she like, before we get started, we got to have this tip situation resolved. The gratuity situation resolved so that these servers feel comfortable. Because when they took this job, this weekend event, the agreement that they understood, as she said, single mothers, people who need this money. They ain't people who claiming that they made $500,000 in February. These people need this money, and it's supposed to be pennies to someone like you, supposedly. They're saying, the servers, hey, we supposed to get paid Friday night. We didn't. This might be gas money for them. It might have been the money to pay the babysitter who's keeping their child. Like all kinds of things. Horrible, horrible. Friday night, they don't get paid as promised. Saturday night, they don't get paid as promised. Now, Sunday morning, because Sunday night is supposed to be over, and he's going to be gone out of town, and they'll never see him. So Sunday morning, they're like, hey, we need to resolve this. When are we going to get our money? Because now we're 2 days behind, and today is the last day. That's when you see the meeting that I showed y'all a couple weeks ago, where he's sitting there and he's now pointing out everything that people doing wrong, in his opinion, and how it's impossible for him to settle up those the tip bills. He would need 16 hours, he said, to be able to settle them up. You didn't know that when you wrote that contract? If you had done it night one versus making them all add up, you could have broken that down. You spent the whole day standing talking about something. I've been on live for 14 hours on my feet. Somebody else could have did what you was doing, sir. All you was doing was pushing out the meals and making biscuits. You should have been in your car or wherever working on the finances, doing something at your pay grade. Instead, you sit there on live, cackling and pointing fingers at what you say other people doing wrong and not making sure these hardworking people get paid who aren't millionaires, who have children, who need that gas money, who need that money for the groceries, money for who knows, school, whatever. So he gets pissy mad that they had the audacity. Again, I told y'all, he falls out with people anytime they want fair compensation, just due compensation. He gets livid. How dare you want what's yours? How dare you want what you worked hard for? How dare you want what I promised you in the very beginning? And she storms out. You know what? F it. I ain't got to take this. I'm gone. This is over. I quit. Because they wanted their money that you promised them? Then he gets on his live. Of course, he's pointing out everything supposedly that's Shantel's fault. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. She barking around. She ain't that. And if it wasn't for me, it wasn't for LaQuinty, all that. Doing all that. And then he says, I can't pay them because I don't have the receipts. They supposed to provide me with the receipt. Well, hell, that's what they were trying to do the first night when you canceled on them. That's what they were trying to do the second night when Shantel told you she was still there at midnight. That's what they were trying to do on the morning of. Before you walked your sassy ass out of there, screaming and hollering and making a scene. So he gets on his live and now he's like, I don't have the papers, the receipts I need to be able to pay them. They're going to have to provide them to me. So they started providing them to him. So the servers individually were sending him, I think a couple of them sent him their receipts or whatever. I can't do anything unless I have all of them. This is going to be too much work. This is confusing. I need all of them or I will not be doing it. So then Shantel gets wind because he ain't communicating with her to try to rectify and get these people paid. This lady here, Danny, is telling you in her own interview that she contacted Shantel to say Darius Cooks, Scampa, is on his IG lives saying he waiting on this paperwork from you. Shantel, like, I didn't know he was waiting on anything from me, but let me get it sent to him. So I did catch the live where she had supposedly sent it to him, and Darius Cooks allegedly says I still didn't get everything I needed from her. And he said that he wasn't going to pay until he got everything. Then he twisted it and said, by the time we were done with all this foolishness, I don't know if it was a day later, hours later, whatever, he then says, Shantel still has my wine. She still got this. All my leftover food until she make me whole with whatever he claimed she had. He wasn't gonna pay the tips. What these workers' tips, the money they earn, the money that these customers gifted to them as a thank you, it should be illegal too. That should purely be illegal. I'm sure it is. How are you going to take their money as a punishment for what you claim that your business partner did? Make that make sense. How are they being punished for what you claim that Shantel did? For one, he lying. So we're going to let her continue. Then we're going to get on out of here. I wasn't expecting this to be 3 hours. I thought it'd be like 2 hours.
Breaching the contract, there needs to be communication. Not communication on your phone, communication with the person that breached.
Why were you all on live every single time you were having this conversation? At least that's what it looks like. Every time you all were handling business, you were on live. To me, I was like, oh, is this a show?
No, it wasn't every time. I don't believe it was every time because, but I know Darius has a history. And sometimes I think we need to have witnesses. And so I think for me, I covered all my bases doing that. Again, the business part of it, it ain't emotional. It's just business. And that's what I was being, business. But anytime there was a breach in the business, hey, you need to make sure you give him assurance.
So you didn't mind that Darius was online?
Nah.
Okay.
That's what he do. That's how he make his money. He I think, I don't know where I heard this, but someone said it, drama off currency or something, And
I think what you're talking about is the post that Darius made like 5 days or 6 days before. It's something around like, he understands that drama, Facebook likes drama, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't even see that.
So I think I vaguely remember that post as well. Darius Cooks has become very transparent over the years about saying that he knows that drama sells on the social media, and that's how he makes his money. The part he doesn't share is that he is the author of chaos on purpose, and he is the spawn of Satan. So drama follows him, chaos follows him, heathenistic behavior follows him, and people like watching the train wreck. But he makes money from it. This, Shantel's Kitchen Comeback, I should be saying, was a complete-ish show, and he made money off of it. He knows what he's doing.
Post, but I know it was entertaining, for him, and I know to me, I was hurt. And for the record, the only thing that hurt me about this event, it were two things: him not giving them assurance they were going to pay. LaQuinty did. LaQuinty gave them assurance, but I know she get paid through him too. So I wanted it to be. I should have made sure that Friday night. I should have made sure that Saturday night. But I dang sure wasn't gonna make. I was dang sure gonna make sure Sunday morning, and that's what I did. I went to bat. I would want somebody to do it for me. I want to make sure they get their money, to work hard for it. And also, I didn't feel he cared, or he cared more about the people on Facebook or Instagram than he cared the people that were waiting 6.5 hours. He didn't care. There were old ladies waiting. Food is an emotional thing, man. I was disappointed. I came and talked to all them people before he did. During their 6 hours, they talked to me. I looked at them in their faces. And some of them, I couldn't even bear to look at them in their faces. I had to come out and clear the whole outside because there was talk that I wasn't doing my part, So he said to me, Shantel, I need them tables cleared. I said, okay, no problem. I went out, and they had to get up. And I said, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to ask you to move. And it was my second time because I asked them to move first time, and they cleared a little bit. But a lot of people stayed because they had already been waiting 2.5 hours. Now I had to come out after hearing it from him and clear the tables. And so I had to be like, Mama Bear, listen, I understand you've been waiting. This is an event. Remember, he said, pack up your patience, bring your patience. So now I need you guys to move off because people don't want to ask you to move when they want to be seated. And that was the real of it. And I cleared it. And it stayed clear for 2 hours. Nobody sat outside.
Mm. Chantel, you said
She's saying she's dropping some gems on y'all. Things I've said before, but she's saying she saw it in action. She's saying that Darius Cooks did not even care about the dehivers, the old dehivers, the seniors, the seasoned people who showed up and waited for 6 hours outside in them hard ass chairs and hard concrete retaining walls. He didn't even come check on them to say, hey, I know y'all showed up for me because y'all believe this foolishness I've been telling y'all online. He doesn't have a way to hide from those people. So again, I told y'all, he don't really like y'all like that. So the people who were actually there didn't get attention, but the people who was behind the screen on the social media, on Instagram and Facebook, that's who he's communicating with. Giving the false appearance that he's doing great things, that he loves them, love bombing them. But the people who actually there, oh, well, with y'all going to see the truth now, and y'all disposable because the truth is y'all going to realize who I am. Y'all going to stop following me, see me for my truth, and I'm going to gain new followers and y'all can go. They're disposable to him. He's been doing it for years. And she said it was old ladies. She felt bad asking them to move, and she said she'd get them to move out of the seating areas, and then they stay empty for 2 hours still.
that Sunday, the tips was what made the workers upset.
Yeah.
Tell me about the workers watching Darius on live, because I spoke to some of your workers.
Yeah.
When you all were together, what was going on, and what day was that?
Well, they kept getting kind of hype. The first time was Saturday night, and I think we even taped that, of us being on live. We taped us live watching him on live.
Did you publicize that?
No.
Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
no, I didn't. Because it's again just having a record of it, because who knows what, he'll say. I don't know, and I can't control that. I know everybody on our team was kind of getting, no, he better, and I said, hey, calm
He
down.
better what?
They were often getting angry. They were getting emotional about what was going on because they hadn't got their gratuity.
Okay.
And I'll say, hey guys, I'm gonna handle it. I know y'all getting mad, and I know he's talking about this. And they were saying how was talking about how he was sitting in his chair or standing up, or in that one place for 14 hours. Well, we was his team. We gave him the luxury to stand there for 14 hours because we made sure everything was done. Not just me, Miss Tanya, Miss Shamika, Miss LaQuinty. We all made sure, all those cooks in the back. They gave the luxury of him to stand there on live, doing his show, making his money how he do. So the event was successful.
You see how she dropping these little reads and gems at the same time? She's saying the reason you were even able to stand there for 14 hours is because we gave you the luxury to do that because we was doing everything else that needed to be done. And it still was an ish show. Had we not been there carrying the weight of the other stuff, there's no way you would have been able to stand in one spot. Anybody who's worked in, I don't know, fast food, retail, et cetera, that you have to be moving and getting around to get things done. Standing in one spot, you ain't getting no real work done. You are not getting no real work done. And if you are, you're the manager and everybody else doing all the heavy lifting, and that's what's allowing you to be able to do that.
I think in his eyes as well. But when it came time, he didn't care about the people outside. He didn't care about the servers and their gratuity. That's what upset me. And that's just also taught me that, okay, Shantel, if you go into contract again, make sure they covered. That way their emotion ain't gotta happen no more.
Okay, so to move us to another direction, I
Yeah.
want to talk about Sunday. How did Sunday end up in cancellation, and when did you learn there was electricity issues that day?
There wasn't no electricity issue.
Okay.
Well, electricity issues meaning they kept using the microwave and it kept blowing because of the whole food truck plugged into my building that's 100 years old. Okay. Darius did a walkthrough. I'm sorry, let me calm down.
Tell
some,
it.
some of these questions is just take a thought. This is a restaurant. This is a restaurant that's used to handling our capacity. You know, we're not a 151 seat establishment. You know, we're a 80 capacity, if you
Okay.
will. And we have no electric issues running that restaurant. I get you brought up that he did
Now, when I was in there, 80 people were not in there.
right,
Oh, okay.
right. And that's what I mean.
Y'all catching all this? Even the host saying, now when I was in there, wasn't no 80 people in there. It was never crowded. That wasn't even a point that Shantel was making. But she's like, let's keep it clear. Let's keep it real. It wasn't even 80 people up in there. It was not full. The whole weekend was never full. But the point Shantel is making, because for those of you who don't know, Darius Cooks was also blaming Shantel throughout the weekend, saying, and this place, the electric blowing every 5 minutes and blah, 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 and she ain't got nothing together and blah, 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 and blaming it on her like her restaurant is horrible, she's horrible, it's amazing it's even standing because she don't know what the hell she's doing, all that kind of stuff. What the part, again, Darius tells a bit of the truth wrapped up in the big old lie. That's how she rolls. As in Darius Cooks. That's how she rolls. The truth was the electricity was blowing. The circuit breakers were blowing. They were blowing, though, because they had a big food truck plugged into the restaurant that it wasn't used to accommodating. Y'all know how much power it takes to run a food truck? A whole food truck with its own interior lighting, with its own set of appliances, fryers, and probably blenders and everything, small appliances, large commercial appliances, plugged into her building that already is probably just about at its capacity. And so, of course, her circuit breakers would blow. She didn't know that. Darius Cooks he's not detail oriented. Y'all can see him put this stuff together, but what you'll learn is that it's always very loose ends. It's never real tight and well done because he's never been detail oriented. When I knew him, those were the pieces I filled in. Over the years, as he met other people, those were the pieces they try to fill in when he allows it. LaQuinty, she's trying to fill in them pieces. But I know that Three Kings thing is still going to be a mess because there are going to be a lot of loose ends with the details. Because Darius Cooks will tell a LaQuinte, don't worry about that. That's not important. Or he will create chaos that allows that not to get done. That's just how he rolls. He did the same thing here. She didn't know that they needed the whole, that he was going to have to try to accommodate food trucks plugging into her building. He didn't share that detail with her. She realizes it once it's happening and once the electricity is blowing. But now it's on her. It's her fault. What? And to this day, he will act like it's, her horrible electricity in that place. Most of us can't get away with just plugging a food truck into our electrical system. What?
I mean, the 80, like this outdoor seating right here you have,
understand.
and a longer inside. That kitchen can run that. If you need more kitchen, you have to bring it with you. Darius knew he had 1,000 reservations. He told me he was going to have, I think, 3 food trucks. He had 1 food truck, and it was plugged into our building. So you can't microwave. You're going to have to warm up you're going to have to keep it warm. And if we don't have the equipment to get it warm, then go buy it. You need to run your kitchen. You told me I can't run back of the house, but I'm telling you, and I'm putting on the electric because you're not running the back of your house. So that's the business of it. That's how I would run it. But, that's not my fault. That's not electrical issues. The issue he canceled on Sunday is because he couldn't assure them. He went in there and he couldn't assure them, and he left and quit on them.
So you're saying that Darius did not leave, from your perspective, Darius didn't leave because of the food in the kitchen.
Yeah,
was
no,
spoiled.
no. He came in there and told his people, or what's his King? I don't know the guy's name.
Okay.
Jerome. There you
Mhm.
go. That hey, Darius is canceled. It's canceled. It's over. It's done. And I was like, okay.
She called Jeremy Jerome too. Jeremy, just change your name to Jerome at this point. Just change it. It'll be better for all of us, even you.
Okay. And he had walked out prior to that, not giving them assurance. So it was over when he couldn't give them an assurance.
When did Darius find out that the freezer, the electricity had went out on the freezer?
Well, Darius knew the food truck guy had a generator, and it was old. Darius could have spent $800 and bought a generator, and it run. In fact, I asked that. I said, hey, he asked me, can he get a generator? I said, you know what? I can. He said, can you get it? Saying 13,000. I said, yes. So I brought it here. He didn't ask me anything about a plug. I don't know anything about a plug, so it didn't have the right plug.
And Darius paid the $1,300.
No, he didn't pay anything.
Oh,
I
good.
had a generator just in my garage. We live in Hurricane, so I always got a generator.
That's Florida,
So,
baby.
right. But he didn't ask me for anything else. But he sent one of his cooks out to go get a plug. Well, the plug didn't fit my generator. Well, then it can't run his freezer. So then Darius need to go buy one, right? Simple. But I had a solution. I said, hey, the food truck not using his generator. If you want to ask him, they asked him if he used it. He said yes. I went and bought a plug for it because the plug that his guy bought didn't fit. So I went myself, sent someone to get a plug. We made it happen. My husband, hey.
I saw him out here actually doing something with the generator when I was here on Friday.
My husband, every 4 hours. He ain't a part of this either, but he's a part of Shantel. Every 4 hours, he paid his own money, got the gas, made sure the generator kept running. Even 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, he did it. Darius didn't pay him to do that, but he did. We are part of the team. That's what we do. At 5 o'clock, and then my husband told me 6 o'clock. My husband said, generator gone. It won't crank up.
6 p.m. or 6 a.m.?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. on Sunday.
Sunday morning.
Okay.
Now, it was 30 degrees, so it's a big 20-foot cooler. So even if it run out of power, it's still going to keep cool as long as you keep the door shut. So I text Darius. First, I text his chef and Miss Tammy that the generator's out. They said, okay, we're going to be in there around about 8 o'clock. And I said, okay, can you let them know? Matter of fact, Chef Beasley said, I'm going to let them know. Then I put them all 3 on the text. And I think that was all before 7 a.m. And
Did Darius respond to you?
His chefs did.
His chefs did, but Darius didn't respond.
No.
When did Darius confirm that he knew about the freezer?
His back of the house knew. He didn't confirm with me. His back of the house, they discussed it. I didn't, In fact, when I was sitting out here talking to my staff about I kept harassing him about us getting the money going, the gratuity. And he said, I can't handle anything right now. I got to know about my food. And so that's what he was handling. So
you see that energy? I can't be doing all that right now. I got to see what's happening with this food first. If nothing happens with this food, I don't know what I can't do. Don't you see what I'm doing? Remember, y'all, that now he always does this. This is one of his tactics. It's a distraction from you getting what he owes you. He'll act like I'm too busy and you're selfish for even bringing up your needs in this moment. Remember, he did the same thing to the verbal owner. We have that on tape where they were trying to just get him to exchange phone numbers with them so they could communicate directly with him because the neighbors had concerns of people parking in their yards and all the other stuff. And he's, I have an event starting. Don't you see? I have an event starting and I don't have time to take down a phone number. It's like, what? You don't have time to take down a phone number for a place you're renting to make sure things are handled well? Like what? So he gives that energy. You see that quite often. I've experienced that firsthand as well. What is Nicole saying? Jeremy is how I pronounce his name. I'm with you, Vel. He needs to go on and change it to Jerome. Yeah, it's the spelling. It's the spelling. It's bad. It's not good. It's very Mississippi. This was such an ish show, shaking my head. Yeah. And it's still not over in the sense of those the servers never got paid their tips.
I wait to approach him about their gratuity because he said he was handling the food.
So I'm gonna ask you some rapid questions.
No problem. Let's
Before
go.
we close, and I want you
Rapid
to
fire.
tell me yes or no.
No problem.
Did you lock the freezer so Darius couldn't get his things?
No, his people had the freezer key.
Okay.
No, the same chefs I'm talking to you had the key.
Okay. Did you keep Darius' food and liquor?
Did I keep it? What you mean?
Did you keep it when he left?
What he left here, it's still here.
It's still here.
He can still come get it.
Okay.
There'll have to be some of their gratuity returned and everything to him, and the money my husband spent in gas money, and then he can have it all.
So are you holding the things hostage?
No, not at all. He's welcome to come get it anytime.
Okay. Well, what is some lessons that
that is, she does a lot of double talk. She don't even hear herself, because she says, and it's rightfully so that she's saying that Darius Cooks can get his wine and whatever leftover, I guess, non-perishables at that point that he wants. He can come get them. He's free to come and anytime he wants, which will never happen. But he's free to come. Like he'll leave ish everywhere. The businesses he closes, he walks out of those buildings, doesn't return the rental furniture, the appliances, the serving dishes, all those things. That stuff, he just walks out and leaves it all. He did it with his cupcake gallery on the north side and the Uptown Pies. He did it with Soul Crab Chicago, Soul Crab Atlanta, Soul Crab, Greens and Gravy. He did it with the Carolina Pound Cake Company. People got videotapes of that with dishes everywhere still. He just walks away from the businesses. So the fact that he walked away from here with cases of wine, they said he ordered 75 cases of wine and they only used about 2 of them. The fact that he walked away without that don't mean nothing. But anyway, her saying that he's free to come get it, but he has to pay the gratuity and her husband for him, the gas that he spent to keep that generator running constantly. I think it's fair. I don't think it's unfair. But when Danny asked her if, so are you holding his stuff hostage? She's like, no, I'm not holding it hostage. You can come get it, but you kind of are because it's ransom. It's due, but you are holding it in exchange for what he owes you.
you think that you have learned from this?
Better contract.
Better contract.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
Shantel still don't get it. She don't understand that a better contract means nothing if the person don't abide by it. Darius Cooks will never abide by it.
I think overall it was a successful event. We have some product in here that, he left behind that we can certainly use. I got a few new aluminum pans. I got some bowls. I think I'm grateful. I turned on my live any given day. I think
Shantel is just happy with the scraps. Remember, we started out with a woman who just wanted $1,600. She done got, we'll say after expenses, again, she probably got maybe $8,000, maybe 10. I don't know about 10, but maybe say $8,000 to $10,000 she done got out of this. She done got her, like she's telling y'all, she done got her some bowls. She done got 75 cases or at least 70 something cases of wine, which she probably selling at the front door of the restaurant. And I think she's about to mention she got a few extra little followers. She just wants the scraps. She don't care about none of this other stuff.
Sometimes it was a lot less people. And now I look at it, man, there'll be 100 people like that. So I'm hoping that reach will turn into quality and butts in the seats. And if they're in Central Florida, to come visit Shantel's. And this is a successful event.
And what are some of the things that you plan on changing about your restaurant since this event?
I'm always changing. I had never, stagnation bring negative issues. We are a growing restaurant. The first year is very different from the 11th year. So I hope to continue to change. Darius, them coming here have made us better, in a lot of things. And, I hope that, anybody who want to collab with us, bring it on. Let's, I'm still hopeful of doing that. We have 7 businesses in one, and we plan on getting to be a lot more.
Okay. Tell the people where they can find you, get information.
All right. Again, thank you to, what's her name again? YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the chat one more time. This is I'm a Pound Cake. I'm a Pound Cake, hosted by Danny. And here's the link in the chat, so you can watch it uninterrupted without all my shenanigans and commentary, and give her a like and all the good stuff. Show your support for her great work, because she got that exclusive conversation with Shantel. So I'm gonna do our few. Oh yeah, I ain't doing all these. We got a lot of star questions. Do some of these star questions, and then we gonna get on out of here, because we are way over the amount of time I thought we'd be on live, but I hadn't been on for a while. So here you go. Oh, well, this is way back from the dating situation. So the dating video, S. Smith says, wow, that's a red flag. Sounds like he has some substance issues. So yes, for Darius Cooks saying that, getting on, saying that I'm high and drunk. Also, Darius Cooks requires edibles to rest at night, every single night. He has his IG lives. He titles it at the end of the evening. The last live of the day is before the edibles kick in. So he'll ramble until his edibles get him too high. Then he gets off because he starts talking crazy and telling too much. Here we go. Talking about how much you make. Sounds like you are insecure, and the only way you can get someone is by mentioning how much money you have. Yes. But then he's also very cheap, and so he won't really. Well, I don't know, because Jerome got a few things out of him. Jerome got bracelets, and supposedly he paid the rent for the house they rented that he only stayed in a couple months. Supposedly he paid that rent for a year or something. I don't know about that because he lied so much. I don't know. The jokes literally write themselves dealing with crooks. A walking clown. Yes, I say that all the time, Shantae. All the time. That all I had to do is report this stuff. The really hardest part is keeping track of all of it, because it's just constantly going, constantly moving. Like you wait more than a week and it's 20 stories to cover. It's like, where do I go now? Even though we know the numbers are made up, he's announcing that to make himself look better. Yeah. Okay, so these were from the dating. I'm gonna catch up with the more recent ones. So this is still him calling in. Seemed like Crooks wanted to get his ego stroke. That's exactly what he wanted. He needs that. Again, he didn't get it like many of us got that from our parents when we were little. We got held and hugged and told they love us and attention and blah, blah, blah. Darius Crooks wasn't getting enough of that. And so he tries to get it as an adult online all day. Anybody heard when his voice changed? Sounds like a demon. Yes, every once in a while that demon does peek out. Venture the chef rather says he looks like he never topped. Yeah, I wouldn't see how he would be able to. Are you serious? He said that on live prepping for sex. Yes, he's described in detail the process multiple times. Shantae, he is full of it. No way she thought she was different from the others he scammed. So I think we're on Shantel. Darius is the type to change the tip amount on a receipt. I went to a Mexican restaurant and did that to me. I was hella mad. Yes, I've seen him take pictures of him tipping $200 or something. I'm like, he's gonna charge that back. He's gonna charge that back. It was all for clicks and views. Jared Malone says, but was she working on her following prior to that, though? Because building a social media following takes time and effort. She was, but she didn't have, like she even just said at the end of this video, she would have, I don't know, under 100 people, 20-something, 30-something people in her lives. And now she's over 100 when she goes live. So that is an accomplishment for her. 1,600 to a millionaire is nothing. Why didn't he just give her the money? Only givers give. He's a taker. So he's like, I ain't gonna never just give nobody 1,600. You're gonna have to earn it, and I'm gonna have to be getting something from it as well. The other piece is, I don't believe he owes her. I would be bothered by somebody just asking me for 1,600 too. I don't care how much money I got. If I don't know you and we ain't got no relationship like that, Don't sit and be approaching me for money like that. How does one rack up a light bill that high? Are they, I guess, a 24-hour restaurant like the Waffle House? $1,600 for a restaurant's light bill is not that unusual. Especially with the amount of appliances and stuff she would have in there. Sound about right. I mean, that's probably, it might have been 2 months. That could have been like 2-3 months. Could have been. I don't think it was necessarily 1 month, but depending on the size of the facility, yeah, it could still be that, near that. Darius Cooks had a $25,000 light bill that was due at Greens and Gravy, and he didn't have the money to pay it. So they literally came during business hours and turned off his, well, they demanded the payment. And they said, if y'all can't pay right now, we're going to have to turn the lights off on the bill in this restaurant. And Darius Cooks was traveling somewhere across out of the country. I think he was in Dubai. And they called him, and the manager told whatever the light company is in Georgia, just turn them off, and told the staff, come on, y'all, let's go. And they had to close for the day, or however long the lights were off. Her attitude was wrong from the start, thinking she was entitled to $1,600 from him just because he is a millionaire is what helped him set a trap for her. Yes, he saw her coming. He felt like, you're going to try to get over on me. I'm going to get you first. Again, that's kind of what he says, that he thought that what he blames, tries to say that his friend from high school, best friend from high school, and me were trying to do to him, only because we want to, just and fair compensation. We want it to be, equals. Right. Nicole Driver, Petty Pendergraph, turn off the lights for Darius Cooks' place. I thought the tips were supposed to be paid at the end of the night per the contract. No. We talked about, you may have missed that part of it, Don. I kind of broke that down, but yes, they were supposed to be paid like that, and they did not get paid like that. And that's why that Sunday morning conversation happened, because that was the last day, and they was demanding that get worked out. He gets mad, throws a hissy fit, and quits because he never wanted to give them that tip in the first place. What is the concept behind the project anyway? I thought the kitchen comeback was for him to help her retrieve. I think, Don, you came in late. I broke all that down, so hit the rewind, friend. It's too much to go over. The drama is not selling those 3 King tour tickets. Yes, I agree. It's they're still trying to play nice. It's gonna fall apart, but they're still trying to play nice, at least in the public eye. Behind the scenes, they probably don't even talk to each other already. Sounds like Shantel was gaslighting a little. Yeah, I would absolutely say that. Oh, and S. Smith says, I think the back patio wasn't open because the city has an issue with her serving folks on the back patio. Yeah, that was an issue. She wasn't being very transparent about that very clearly. There was something more to it, and she just wouldn't come clean and say exactly what it was. Precious G is saying that the reviews for Chantel's Justin Till on Google is 4.4 stars, which is actually pretty good. So Darius Cooks claimed that her food is nasty, her restaurant is horrible and poorly run and all that. The Google reviews say quite the opposite. Again, you can't trust anything that Darius Cooks says. She is a walking lie, pathological liar and sociopath. I think they used each other. Yes, I think we can definitely say that for a fact. S. Smith is saying, I wonder if the staff got paid. I think that was earlier before we got to that part of the video. They got paid their salaries. They did not get paid their tips. Still to this day. And this was recorded 2 weeks ago. And at that point, Shantel was thinking, when she sent the email that she had sent with the papers that Darius Cooks claimed he needed, she thought that meant that her staff was going to get paid their tips. Still ain't happened. By then, Darius Cooks was like, F them completely. He ain't even trying to play like he going to pay him. It's crazy how Darius is not blackballed and people continue to trust him after all the repetitive scams he does. Yes, but people, I have learned, that was how I felt in the very beginning, 2 years ago, maybe for the first year and a half or so. Then I realized the reason he is able to continue his grift is that people are very impressed by his fake persona of success, of being wealthy, of having this dream life. People don't realize how miserable she is, how she's mentally ill, how hateful she is, and all the dirt that she does and the crimes and stuff she commits. They don't really care about that as much either, as long as it's not done to them. They got their blinders on. We just watched that on the dating show with the Lamont guy. Had me looking at him a little side eye because they friends outside, but Lamont ain't blind to what's out there on the street. But it's like, it ain't happening to me, so I ignore it. And I'm like, you hooking up people with a scammer. He's supposed to be a dating, like, love, success, relationship and stuff, but you gonna hook somebody up with a known scammer and pathological liar. You're gonna treat it like, oh, that's just because people hate on him. What? So it got me looking at him a little side eye too. I knew Darius was going to steal those tips when he mentioned using his POS system, wage theft as a crime. Yeah, I figured that as well. Not figured. I told y'all. I told y'all. Okay, last 4 comments. I'm just doing I was about to stop and then I was like, forget it. Let me get through them. He basically claimed that he didn't know the equipment in the restaurant was so bad, but he did a walkthrough. Right. And what they're basically saying is it wasn't that the equipment was so bad, it's that he loaded the circuits by adding the food truck to the building's electrical system. The day she asked him for the money, he started to plot on her. Yeah, I think I read that. Last 2 is, why didn't he just give it to her? I mean, he's selling his products and bringing in $500K in a month. Yeah, I don't feel like he owes her anything as far as somebody just randomly asking for money like that and they weren't friends and had no real relationship. I'm chilling, waiting for the Three Kings drama because if he can't get along with females, y'all know he how it's gonna go with the males. Well, keep in mind, I could tell you firsthand. I was in a business with him. I'm a male, 100%, and I can tell you how he is. It's not as sassy as it is with the women for sure, but he is definitely just as devilish and sneaky and snaky for sure. Jeremy is not going to be a part of Three Kings for long, and Corey is just happy to be in the presence of Darius. Yes, absolutely. All right, y'all. I can read these comments forever. I will see them on the replay when I watch it. Thank you for everyone who has joined us this evening. If you're watching on the replay or you're watching live right now, please remember to hit that like button if you haven't as of yet. And subscribe if you're new to this channel. It would be greatly appreciated. And hitting that like button is free to you, but it is costless, priceless to me. So please do that. Hey, Deshaun, see you joining a little late. Catch the replay, friend. But with that, until next time, until I upload the next video, make sure to take care and be blessed.